How you doing out there? Welcome to the Eye Test. I'm your host, Mark Coles, and this is episode 24, I believe.
24.
Yeah. And I am with my co-host Shawn, and with our special co-host Tyrone. And as you know, anytime Tyrone's around, that means we're going to be talking about anything fight. So we're going to get right into it. But first, let me just say, how you doing, fellas? How you guys?
Doing all right, man. Doing good. Feeling great. My team got a dub this weekend, so all is well in the NFC East. 4-3 at the bottom of the division.
I'm
Excuse me,
pretty sure
NFC West, not East. Excuse me.
you're looking like you're doing well. You're looking like you're feeling cozy over there, looking like a red
Real,
Teletubby. Like, what's going
real
on?
form. Hey, look, man. Look, see, I'm waiting for you to say it, Mark. You know what? No, 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 no. I'm gonna let Tyrone say how he's doing first, and then we're gonna get into it.
Yo, Tyrone, what's going on, bro?
I'll make this short so I can get into it. I'm doing great.
Yeah,
Let it begin.
yo,
Hey, so since Mark want to tiptoe around it, are you gonna do it?
I'll get to you. I'll
Go,
get to
yeah.
you, Tinky Winky. Relax.
You keep playing with me. Keep playing with me. You know what I'm saying? Say what you got to say and get it over with. But come on.
Yo, Tyrone, that hoodie's looking fly, bro. Like, what you got
Thank
on
you.
there?
All right, so this is something I curated as well. Some of my artwork. It's Halloween, so if you can see it, I got all the horror movie slasher heroes or whatever you want to call them, antagonists as
Okay,
kids, and then they are standing back to back with their adult self as they follow your dreams. So
that's fly. That's
That's
fly.
fire, though. That's fire. I'm
That's
not even
fly.
gonna lie.
thank you.
Can people get that on your site?
Of course.
All right. Small world artistry. You can find that there, and as always, the link to Small World Artistry will be right in the comments. I mean, right in the description of the YouTube episode. So look for that there. And so back to you, friend.
Yo, real quick before we even go any further, the focus on your camera is off. You know what I'm saying? I want a
Okay.
clear shot of you when I'm talking to you. So go ahead,
Okay.
fix that real quick, homie. Fix
I
that.
mean, I'm good. I'm here. I'm
Okay,
listening. I'm
okay,
right
there we
here.
go. Now
Right
we
here.
now we clear. Okay, man.
I'm
You know
here.
what I'm saying?
I can't miss you,
Is there
but it's
anything else
okay.
that you want to? Okay, so you just gonna tiptoe around it. Okay, for those that can't see us, that are listening or whatever, I'm sitting here. I got my celebratory 49ers onesie on. Apparently, Mark has a problem with it.
I don't have a listen, man. Whatever, however you live, that's fine by me. I'm not here to judge,
It,
but
okay, this is, and I just have to do this, man. I'm gonna let you know.
I'm
I
just
don't, I don't want to show y'all, but I'm gonna let y'all know. Yes, it has the footies on it too.
yeah.
It has the
But
foot. I'm not lifting my leg up in front of the camera, dog.
does it
But
have
yes,
the easy access buttons in the back? Pause.
no, it
But
don't got no. Boy, you see the zipper in the front, man? Stop trying to play me, son. Look, you know what? Because I knew you was gonna have something slick to say, Mark. Just know that there's more ridiculousness coming from my outfit. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and bring one of the most ridiculous things you've ever seen out now. So let me go ahead and put this thing on here. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, take a look at that. You see that? You see that? You know what I'm saying? I got my Mr. T fake gold chain 49ers emblem right here, man. Oh gosh, come on now. Is there anything else you got to say, Mark? It gets more ridiculous if you want to keep talking.
yo, what plumber did you steal all that PVC
Dog,
from, dog?
don't
Like,
worry about where I
yo,
got this from, dog.
give him
Hey,
back his plastic, bro.
look, when your
Like,
team
what?
when your team's just winners, you know what I'm saying? When your team has a winning record, you could do things like this, Mark. You know what I'm saying? You could do whatever you want.
Yo, I promise you, I will never want to do that. You
Dog,
don't
I'm
you
telling
worry
you,
about it.
I'm telling you right
There's not
now.
a
I'm telling you right now.
there is not a winning record that will exist that will have me dressing like a Teletubby, bro. It's just
Dog,
not.
look, I'm telling you right now. Look,
Again.
dog.
Like, get out of here.
First off, you got that ridiculous Crown Royal leather football Eagles logo thing in the back. This is way better You know what I'm saying?
So hold up, no. In what world? In what
Wait,
world?
where's
In what
Crown
he's?
Royal? Oh,
It's a real Crown Royal bottle. Like it's a real Crown Royal bottle. Now he talking shit, but like
Dog, this man
in
has a
what
leather
world?
canteen. This man has a leather canteen with the Eagles logo on it. I'm not.
This
Stop
is
playing with me,
football
Mark.
leather.
Stop playing with me.
Football leather.
This man has a leather canteen, the
Embroidered.
one that you see in the old Western films and shit. You see them pull it out and they dump it upside down and it's empty and shit. That's what he's carrying around right now. That's what that fucking Crown Royal bag look like.
Nigga, at least I'm not about to show a video about how post office works. Like, relax.
Look,
and have it shining on my chest. You need to relax,
man,
bro.
Look, dog. We winners out here. This is how we represent. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get more ridiculous. I hope you save some of that ammo, bro, because it's about to get more ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna go ahead and put on the first hat of the day. You know what I'm saying? We ready? Let's get into this fight shit, man. Let's go.
This guy is too much, man.
Let's go.
Right, man.
It's getting ridiculous. It's gonna be ridiculous tonight. You might as well just strap in.
All right, bro. All right, so now that we had enough from the Care Bear over here, let me go and get into it. He put on the chain so he could do his Care Bear stare. Like, get the fuck out my face with that shit.
Hey, dog. Hey, maybe y'all should try some of that over there in Philly. Maybe y'all get some dubs or something.
We won this week. We won this week.
We won this week.
You know what I'm saying? If you do it like a Goku spirit bomb and you can harness all the boos coming from the crowd, maybe Carson Wentz can throw a fucking accurate pass when you need him to.
Hey, Shawn.
What's up?
Who was our first winner of the season?
Don't worry about that, man. Why we talking about? Oh no, I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about a 4-3 record, baby. I'm talking about
who. I mean, we're both of our teams were winners this week, but who was our first win?
Dog, why are we talking about Olsen? Why are we talking about?
It's not that old. It's only about 2 weeks old.
Who's 4-3? Are you 4-3? Does your team have a winning record?
Why do you have 3 losses? Who's one of those 3 losses?
Why are we talking about Olsen? First off, you
breaking up records. You said 4-3, so I'm asking.
4-3. That's all we need to talk about. We don't even know where it came from. We don't even know where it came from, dog.
Just name one of the 3.
We don't even know where it came from, dog. I'll name one. We lost to Arizona, man. Tough team. They got a lot of heart. I like it.
Okay.
Kyler Murray, shout out to you. Look, man, we getting into this fight shit or not, man?
Yeah, okay.
Let's get into this fight. Look, man, we got time to talk football, Mark. We got time. Don't worry about it. We get back to it.
Take your Care Bear stare somewhere else.
We get back to it, dog. Look, I'm war ready now. Let's go.
All right. Apparently. Anyway, so look, for those that don't know, there was a UFC event this weekend, UFC 254, a very good event, if I might add. Every card on the main event was fairly entertaining. No card went to decision, huh?
Not that I know of. No. Actually, now that you bring it up, man, yeah.
Yeah, like no card went to decision. So like if you were to pay for an event, this is the kind of event that you would have liked to have paid.
Solid from top to bottom.
Yeah. So actually no. The one right before the main event went to decision, but he played like shit. He fought like shit. But he wasn't really necessary. Connier or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, Jared.
Oh yeah, nah, yeah. That was the whole thing. Yeah. I forgot about that, dog. He was getting You know what? We're gonna talk about it later. We gonna talk about it later.
Yeah,
we can break that shit down because I got I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he was getting hands and feet put on him. So
dog, I want to save my comments till we get there, man. Because yeah.
All right, so we're just gonna excluding the main event because the main event will be its own conversation that we will have. I'm just gonna start with you guys. I'm gonna start with you today, Shawn. What did you take away from this fight, from this event, and the second question to ask to that is, what fight interests you the most?
I'll say this. So my takeaway from the whole event was just, like I said, it was a solid event from top to bottom. Um, you had some vets, you had some young up and comers. Um, what I saw was people that showed up and were ready to fight. Even when they didn't look like they were ready to fight, in one particular fight, everybody showed up and basically did what they were capable of. I didn't see any running. I didn't see anybody scared. It was nothing like the last event that we talked about. Um, like I said, I have no quarrels, no problems with the way that people fought in this event. So that was a good thing. I felt like nobody chickened out. So I liked it. Um, but the fight that I liked the most, Um, shoot, I really don't know. I guess the Robert Whittaker fight, man. I guess I would have to say, I like Robert Whittaker. I know he's getting to his twilight years. He's getting a little seasoned now. So for him to take on a younger guy that's up and coming and be able to get a good dub in a good showing, he put up a solid fight. I guess just from top to bottom, he just kind of he is a seasoned vet and he looked like a seasoned vet, man. It could have gone left if he did not come in prepared. He took the fight seriously, and I guess for me it just showed the difference between somebody that's starting out fighting and somebody that knows exactly what they need to do because they've been fighting. So that was my favorite fight.
All right. Yeah. Tyrone, I'm going to go ahead and ask you the same question, um, which is what was what did you take away from this fight, and what was your favorite fight or the fight that interests you the most in this event?
Uh, Same. Robert Whitaker, Jared Cannonier. I like that fight. It's the only, and it is the only fight that went to decision. I was really looking at that fight the most because it's going to depict the future of the pretty much middleweight division. What's going to happen as far as who faces the champ. I really don't think Jared Cannonier, if he had a won, I just felt that he was going to be a sacrificial lamb. And so to see
Sacrificial.
Robert, yeah, sacrificial lamb.
Definitely.
So to see Robert Whitaker, come back, rally, he took his loss, lost his belt, came back, and put on a dominant performance, and come to find out that he broke Jared Cannonier's arm with the first kick he threw.
Yes.
Mm.
First kick he threw, he broke his arm. So that kind of shows us the type of power this guy has. And I've heard of Robert Whitaker. I knew he was a champion, but I didn't really pay attention to him because the belt was
Yeah.
switching around a lot. And
Yeah.
then after he fought Izzy, it was a really bad showing for Robert Whitaker. Like, 'cause he was coming in, whiffing his punches, throwing heavy shots, getting gassed out really early. But seeing him fight Cannonier, it shows what he's capable of doing, shows the power he has. It shows the fight IQ he has. And yeah, I was happy to see him win. And that puts him right back into place to fight Israel Adesanya again to get his belt back, a revenge
Well,
match. So that's
uh,
interesting.
let me ask you, as someone that has expressed that they don't really put much stock into Izzy's record and his W's against other opponents. Um, Seeing what Robert Whitaker did in this fight, does that make you put more respect on Izzy's W over Robert Whitaker?
You know what I'm gonna say? No,
Yeah,
because
That shit sound like hate, bro. Go ahead.
no, it sounds like hate. It sounds like hate. It does. But anybody who thinks I'm hating, I ask you to do two things, and then make your session, opinion about what I'm about to say. Watch the Israel Adesanya Robert Whitaker fight, and watch this Jared Cannonier fight, and tell me if that's the same Robert Whitaker.
but
If
see,
that's the same
See,
Robert
now,
Whitaker, then we can talk.
go ahead,
now,
Mark.
If that's
now,
wait, wait,
but here,
and then if you want to sit here and say maybe he got better because of the loss, go back and watch the Yoel Romero fights. There was no change in Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker pretty much fought Yoel Romero the same way he fought Jared Cannonier. You get what I'm saying? But when he fought Izzy, he didn't fight the way he normally fought,
We can't.
and
now
I don't know
see,
why that is.
Mark, you go ahead because
now see
you're gonna
here,
say what I want to say.
but here's the thing: it is that some like Izzy can't control what you choose to do coming into the ring. But does that speak to the talent of Izzy, or to the ability of Izzy, that he, when you come into the ring, you 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 come at him differently. He make, like, just his presence makes you change how you fight, and and he takes full advantage of that. I mean, that speaks to a great fighter. Like, we've seen Floyd Mayweather do this to just about everybody he's ever fought. Is that everybody was real cool and they had a game plan until a couple of jabs hit them in their mouth, and then they started missing a few times. And but once Floyd hit him a few times and made him miss, their whole game plan changed. Like, could that have, like, so is there any credit that you would give Izzy to the fact that Robert Whittaker fights everybody else like this, but Izzy, he fought like this and lost, and it seems consistent with everybody Izzy fights?
No, because you respect the myth. And the reason I'm saying this is because I've been in that situation. I've been in a situation where I've had to face an opponent who has a myth, and you put a lot of emphasis on that myth as a fighter. You do. I don't want to be like this guy. I don't want to be a highlight reel. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be that. And you're so worried about what this guy's done in the past and what could possibly happen in the future that you don't prepare for the present. And for a fighter, it's very important to be present, not in the past, not in the future. I mean, if you want to, you got visions of grander dreams. I want to be a champion. That's cool, but like, you can't put emphasis on the myth. And I feel like a lot of people are putting emphasis on the myth. Like, we sit here and we talk about last episode I was on. We talked about Paulo Costa. Why is he
Mm-hmm.
fighting that way? Why did he do that? That's not what we normally see. He put emphasis on the myth. Same thing with Jon Jones. When people fight Jon Jones, they put emphasis on the myth. So, and like I said, the UFC marketing program is strong. Like, they'll make you feel like this guy came from Jupiter, like he's an alien, he's Superman. So, I
Well,
I don't know the mental of Robert Whittaker. Everybody's gonna talk tough at the weigh-ins. Everybody's gonna talk tough at the press conference. I don't know, but what I do know is action. And the Robert Whittaker before Adesanya looked just like the Robert Whittaker after Adesanya.
Well,
But
okay.
he
So
wasn't Robert Whittaker during
I have
let me answer that.
I have one last question for him before you go, Shawn. Because you say, like, people put emphasis on the myth. Well, I can name one such fighter that never put emphasis on the myth, but in the fight he changed because of what was being done to him, and that's Gustafsson. Gustafsson didn't put emphasis on the myth against John. He didn't believe in it, and he showed it the first time. And the second time, he came to prove that he was going to beat that ass. But what John did to him changed the way he fought. He did not fight the second fight the same way because of what John did to him, and like that, and it made him back off, and like John was just timing him out, and it made him look like he was scared and timid. And Gustafsson said, like, I wasn't scared or timid, I just couldn't figure out the timing, and he was tearing me up. Like, so, and so maybe that's something that Izzy is doing to some of these fighters.
Okay.
It's easy as I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna let him go because he's been waiting to go for a minute.
Yeah, because I got 3 quick points. I got three
Yeah.
quick points to make about what you said about the fear and the myth, right? So Mark, you know me. I had a big issue with the amount of praise that was being heaped on Cam Newton in this MVP season, and I felt like it wasn't that he wasn't playing good. I felt like he was playing good, but you coupled that with the way that teams were playing them. I felt like teams were playing the Panthers scared, and that allowed them to be able to run up the score. That allowed them to do things that normally they wouldn't be able to do. But at the end of the day, he got his MVP. I thought he should have been MVP because I'm like, I can only be mad at the opponents. All right, I can only be mad at the opponents. Yes, I feel like it shaves a little bit off of the accomplishments, but the accomplishments are still there. They are what they are. And if everybody else wants to play him scared, then that's on them, right? That's something I just had to live with, right? Now, let's talk about fear. Like it's a big component. It's a major component when you're talking about fighting. So when it comes to fear, it's not just what they do in the ring and how they've won handedly. It always also has something to do with the way that they talk and the amount of confidence they exude. A lot of the times Tyson's fights were won before anybody stepped foot in the ring. So we can't give guys like Tyson credit for for people coming in there scared of him. You know what I'm saying? Because of the way he's been dealing with everybody inside the ring. You can't give him praise for that and say that that was a, like, hey, this is another notch on his belt as far as fighting. He was the most feared. You can't do that and then still say, well, Izzy is less than because people are going in there scared. And then for my final point, this will help your argument is but I also do feel there's a little hint of Ronda Rousey there. Ronda Rousey was never challenged properly because most of the people that fought her, even though I thought she was better than them, they were getting blown out of the water because they were terrified. Like they could have put up the same close to the same caliber of a challenge that Misha Tate had gave her couple times fighting her if they would have stepped into that ring confident. So I do feel like there's a little bit of that with when it comes to Izzy. But I give him more credit than Ronda Rousey because I feel like his competition is better than what she had. So like only time will tell. But I'm not going to sit here like how many times. Like it's one thing, but opponent after opponent after opponent fights him differently. At some point, the credit has to go to Izzy for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Tyrone, you have any follow up to that?
I mean, I feel what he's saying about Mike Tyson. The thing about Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson never resorted to, I don't know, like he never was scared in the ring. Like I saw Izzy afraid in the ring with Yoel Romero. I've seen Izzy struggle against, and I'm not gonna say Tyson at the prison. Pre-prison Tyson
Yeah.
never went through the things that Izzy did. You know what I mean? And I've just seen him. Like I don't know, it's a psychological thing. I've seen him. I've seen him beat Yoel Romero, and they put the belt on him, but he was not happy. He was upset. He was bothered. You know what I mean? And the first thing he did is he jumped to the defense. I can't do anything if you don't want to fight me. I can't. But that wasn't what it was. It really wasn't what it was, because if you watch that fight, and I challenge anybody listening to this episode to go watch that fight. Izzy rushed in, got popped, didn't like it, backed off.
Yeah. Well,
So then he wins by leg kicks. He does leg kicks. I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. So I mean, he changed his tactics. Good IQ on him. I give him that credit. But you can't say you're the baddest man on earth when you felt a little bit of fear. I ain't never seen Tyson get hit with an uppercut and been like, I'm gonna back off now and just work my jabs, because he's strong.
yeah.
You know.
Well, either way, I guess for me, just to wrap it all up and get back to the main point. For me, it doesn't change my opinion on his win over Robert Whittaker, only because I feel like it was what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was what it was.
It was what it was. It
Show
does
how you
not
show
change
up.
my opinion in retrospect.
Yeah, I mean, and then in the record books, it goes down as a win automatically, no matter how you show up.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, it is what it is. He won it, but deep down inside, I feel like if Robert Whittaker had it been Robert Whittaker, like who maybe Izzy would have beat him, maybe he wouldn't. I think it would have been a great fight.
Well,
But that's all I can say about it.
all right. Well, let's Mark,
Well,
if you
all
want to.
right. So, I'm going to say, for me, it does change my opinion slightly, because the fact that he was this person before the fight and he was this person after, like it was like because of the way that he took that L to Izzy was partly why I was uncomfortable with putting Cannoner as one of my dark horse wins on my bet slip this weekend. Um, and I was really disappointed in what Cannoner did in the ring, but now knowing that he got his arm broken from the first kick makes perfect sense. Like, yes, you're going to back off and you're going to start fighting like shit when your arm is about to fall off. I understand. So like it's cool. But the showing that I saw the in that fight was what made me say, okay, it's okay to put Canada as one of my dark horse picks. Now, what played out is Robert Whittaker doing what, like you said, he's doing what he's done in the past, and that right there made me say, well, if he did this in the past, and he's doing like, if he did this, everybody else was different with Izzy and did this again. Now I'm like, okay, maybe it's something that Izzy did, and I'm gonna put some more respect on Izzy's name for that. I'm gonna just I'm not gonna say I'm a like now he goes 10 notches up. No, but he gets a few. He gets a few.
Yeah. Which I 1,000% don't have a problem with you feeling that way, and I feel like anybody that feels that way, they have a right to. Like I said, we can't just keep blaming Izzy for the way that people fight him. At some point, he has to get credit for it.
Exactly. But for me, out of the fights that happened this weekend, um, there was two. And in the two that I actually have is only because one showed exactly how you're supposed to do it, and the other one showed exactly how you're not supposed to do it. And that is the first fight was Magomed I can't pronounce these two dudes' name, but the light heavyweight fight, uh Ankalaev and
Hold on, hold on,
yeah,
hold on.
somebody else got to pronounce it. Uh,
Yo, this is where you supposed to step in, Tyrone. What you doing, bro?
yeah, like
Like,
Because I'm trying to figure out what he's saying. Like, who you talking about, bro? Like,
Ankalaev and Kuta.
oh, Magomed and I know you're talking about the
Yeah,
first one, and that
yeah,
was an actual rematch. Do you realize that? You
yeah.
realize that was
No,
a
I
fight that
do.
was on another card? Okay.
Yeah, I do. But like my problem with that fight was that it was 100% not the way you're supposed to do it because Magomed.
Yes, it was not. He was just following the jab, like just hit me
Yeah,
in the face
like
again.
Magomed, this dumbass motherfucker, like he was like, "Let me lead you around the ring," and he was like, "Okay, let me follow you." Do 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 do. Like they were playing Ring Around the Rosie, and he was just
Yeah.
lining
Well,
them up.
Magomed, it was the smart one. You know, he was
Yeah,
backing away. He was not putting
exactly.
himself in the corner.
But that he
And
wasn't
the
back. But
Aya,
like he wasn't
yeah,
backing away scared. He was like,
no,
I'm lining
tactical
you up
retreat.
as I move around the
Yeah,
ring, and
hit
you're
you with
just
a
going.
tactical retreat.
And yeah, and you're just going to keep following me and lining up the target for me. Thank you.
Hmm.
As I keep punching
Like
you
he
in the
never cut
face.
the ring off. He never cut the ring off.
Not
Like
one
it was.
time.
It's 8 corners in an octagon,
Yeah.
and that gives you 8 opportunities to cut the ring off.
Yo,
Like it's crazy.
this dude turned the octagon into a circle. Like
Yeah, he
he
did.
made
He
all
did.
the he made all the angles into a. He just took them all away. Like no, this is a circle now. We're just gonna move around. Like so that was one. But I
Yeah.
only bring up that fight to bring up what I thought was done masterfully. And that's Lauren Murphy. Lauren Murphy
oh yeah,
masterfully
she put on the clinic.
masterfully showed exactly how you're supposed to cut off the ring, exactly how you're supposed to control the ring. Like, I mean, that was like, if you want to teach somebody, like, this is what you do, you show them that fight because, like, we talking about girl steps left, Lauren steps right, girl steps right, Lauren steps left. I mean, and it was lock and step. It was almost like they were waltzing together the way that she was moving with her. She at no point did she ever follow, and you could tell that that confused the shit out of her opponent. Her opponent had nowhere to go, and and the pressure that she put on her was done perfectly. Like and just in the show, the way that she finished the fight as well, it was like basically she was like she put on the display like these are my skills. I'm and now I'm just going to display them to you like to showcase that I belong here and that I deserve a title shot. And that's exactly what she did. She like so for that fight, I give her all the credit because if ever I was to teach someone like in boxing or in MMA, like cut off the ring, don't follow. I'm going to show that fight and be like, this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing out there. So
Yeah. So, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyrone. This was the other Shakarova. This was her first fight in the
yes,
UFC, correct?
It
yes, it
was. It
is.
was.
And boy, did it show! My goodness,
Yeah,
it
it did.
showed.
I mean, yeah,
It
I get what Mark is talking about, but that girl seemed like she was an amateur at some of the things that she was doing. You know.
She was. She was only. I'm looking at her record. She's 8-2. She only has 10 total fights. Now,
Yeah.
this is the thing, man. This is.
But Lauren is only 14-4. I mean, granted, she does have more fights, but it's not
But there's a difference between having those
outlandish.
fights in the UFC and not having them in the UFC. Like
Yes.
there is now the gap between the UFC and every other MMA circuit that exists when it comes to female fighters. The gap has widened by a lot.
No,
And
no, 1,000%. But like, I'm not even going to let you walk down this path that you're walking down. I'm
I
gonna
am
just
walking.
go.
Well, you're not
But
even
no,
letting me
no, no,
finish. You don't even
because
know where I'm
no,
going.
because I'm
You don't even
ripping
know
up
where
the
I'm going.
concrete. I'm ripping up the concrete. The
Don't no,
path's
you
not
don't
there
know
no
where I'm
more.
going. So
It's
why
gone.
don't you just
Don't
make
worry
yourself
about it. Don't
talk?
worry
We
about
let
it.
you
The
talk.
path's not
We
there.
let you talk, man.
The path's not
Why don't
there.
you give me
The
my turn?
path's not there. Don't
Dog,
worry.
hey, why don't you look? You had your time to speak, brother. You spoke your piece. Let me talk, brother. Let me talk. But once again, what I'm trying to convey here is that one person was the inexperienced person. It doesn't matter if they have the same amount of fights. It doesn't matter if they have a similar amount of fights. One person clearly has experience and the other one doesn't. One person has fundamentals and the other person doesn't, Mark. It doesn't matter how they gained those. One person had it, the other person didn't, okay? Whether you think they both should have had it does not
No,
matter.
no, no.
That's what
See,
this
that's
fight
not
is.
what I'm saying.
What,
Because
but
what
that's
I'm
what
saying
I'm
is,
saying, Mark.
but
So why
what
are
I'm
you
saying,
jumping
your
out the window
fundamentals
talking
don't
about you
fucking
ripping up the
matter.
concrete?
If you
Get out of
try to
here.
lead me around the ring, whether you try to lead me around the ring or not, like if you have fundamentals, it's I still control whether or not I follow or
Yeah,
whether or not
but
I
what
cut
I'm
off the
trying
ring.
to see, Mark,
Your
Mark,
inexperience has
Mark,
nothing to do with
Mark,
how I cut off the ring.
Mark,
Your
Mark.
inexperience
I'm
means
sitting.
jack
Listen to
shit
yourself,
to
Mark.
how I cut off the
Mark,
ring.
Mark, listen to yourself. I'm literally giving her credit for being the better fighter, and you're trying to argue with me. What are you
No,
doing, Mark? You thought I was going somewhere else with it, but I didn't. You won't even let me finish. I'm telling you, Lily should have been more prepared for this fight. She wasn't. She got outclassed. Okay, every sense of the in every sense of a fight, every way that you could possibly get outclassed in the ring, she got outclassed. She literally looked confused. She literally looked like she didn't know what was going on. Okay, that's what happened in this fight. So yes, I do give credit to Murphy, but you won't even let me get there because you thought I was going somewhere else,
no,
Mark.
because
Shame on you.
you started off on the wrong foot. You can't say I'll speak to your inexperience and then gonna go and then make a right. No, nigga, start right. Don't start
No,
left.
no, no. What I'm trying to tell you is this, Mark. I'm saying there's a gap in experience. I'm saying there's a gap in experience and
Yeah.
fundamentals, and I'm trying to speak as to one of the reasons why that gap might exist, Mark. And if you're going to sit here and tell me that it means absolutely nothing that this was her first UFC fight, then you're crazy.
No, but see what I'm saying is
The
it
same
meant
way to say, hold
absolute.
up, no, I'm cutting you off now. Because Tyrone, you felt a certain way when we talked about Izzy's record and you talked about how a lot of those fights were not in the UFC. Am I correct?
Yeah,
Does that mean something?
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so
But
I'm
It
I'm
not
not.
understanding
absolutely,
why
it
Mark is
absolutely means
But what I'm saying,
it matters who
it
you're fighting. It matters the quality of people you're
yeah.
fighting.
it
You're
But
not
does.
gonna learn something off of beating potato cans,
But
It's
see,
hard
tomato
to
but
cans.
thank you.
listen, we're called the eye test for a reason because your record doesn't matter with what the fuck I see. And I'm speaking to what I saw from Lauren, not anything that I saw from Shakarov. Because yes, I saw the inexperience in her, but what I saw from Lauren was something that will stand up against anyone. It doesn't
Yep.
matter who she
That
fights.
is great,
It
Mark.
doesn't.
Do you know?
Look,
Do you know who the
you came
flyweight
here.
champion is?
No,
Who's the
no, no, no,
flyweight champion, Mark?
no. Hold on. Because when I say it will stand up against anyone, I'm not talking
Oh, okay.
about like
Okay.
I'm not talking
All right.
about the
I'm about
I'm
to
not
say,
talking about the I'm not
because
talking about like
Shevchenko
the
would run through
I'm
her
not
like a
talking
hot
about
knife through butter.
I'm not talking about when it comes to speed or hand skills or anything like that. I'm talking about because I specifically am talking about the masterclass that she put on with how to apply pressure and ring control. Like if anybody that she fought was to back up that way, she showed that she knows how to apply pressure and apply ring control. Like it doesn't like she knows. Like if you were to try to do a tactical escape on her, she knows how to maneuver in that way, and that has nothing to do with your skill level or anything because
Mark,
that's just what you
Let
control.
me explain
in
to you
yourself.
something. You came in speaking about this fight to speak about the skill set and what Murphy did. When it was my turn, I came to speak about pros and cons from both fighters and to break down the fight. I'm not sitting here trying to discredit what you're saying, but that's what you think I'm doing, so you will let me talk. You see what I'm saying? Nobody's arguing anything that you're saying. I just want to know why you're so passionate about it. Like,
right.
But anyways, back to let me just
I'm
finish.
gonna let a secret out to the viewers. Like Mark was texting me during that fight, and he was like, "Yo, she's putting on a masterclass," and I was like, "Yeah, but old girl is inexperienced. She's doing these weird Bruce Lee jabs. Like she's turning to the side. She's not really using them octagon." He was like, "Yeah, but still." Like so, it's the same thing I'm saying. Like you were saying, it comes to your experience, and you're only going to get experience if you fight high class people. And girl has 10 fights, and I just felt like, and also to give her credit, she's a wrestler. That's her main fight point. So stand up is not her thing. She did try to wrestle, and they got stuffed. Credit to Lauren Murphy. But when it comes to stand up, it's easy. It's easy. I'm gonna go with Shawn. It's easy to look good against somebody who doesn't have the experience.
No. Well, let me be very specific because I'm not trying to take anything away from her. So
Shawn, you heard what? Just real quick, I'm gonna let you go.
I heard what he said.
You heard what he said, and he said he's going with you because that's what you sounded like.
Dog,
all right. So anyway, keep going. Keep going.
I'm gonna end this shit real quick because I don't even want to talk about the fight no more. I'm gonna end this shit real quick. 2 points. One, Mark, to your point, the eye test is always gonna be the eye test. If I see Floyd Mayweather fight a bum and he shows me that he has good head speed, you know what I'm saying? He can basically avoid attacks and he can do all these things. Like certain things just are what they are when you see them, and it doesn't.
Right.
With our own eyes, we can analyze that and say, yeah, he was fighting a lesser opponent, but what I saw from him in this fight was he has these particular set of skills. Whether or not they can execute the same exact way against an equal opponent is yet to be seen. So they can't get full credit for that to what Tyrone's saying. Now, with that said, Mark, I'm going to harken back to something that you said, because this is how I'm going to end this shit. You gave the 49ers no credit when they beat up on the Giants, when I said that I saw some things from the offense and I thought it was working and it looked good. And you said, no. You don't get to say that, not against the Giants. So guess what? You do not get to say, I wasn't even going to go this route, but now that you forced me to, I will. How are you going to give that girl any credit when Lily was over there? How are you going to give Murphy all this credit when she was fighting Lily? And Lily was out there looking like a fucking lost puppy. Is that what we're doing? So we got somebody
I tell you what.
On a lower level
I tell you what.
And then you're gonna sit here and praise her for beating up on a punching bag?
No, because I tell you what.
What we doing?
I tell you what. When Lauren lose to the equivalent of the Eagles, like the San Francisco 49ers lost to the Eagles after beating the Giants, then talk to me.
Hey, Tyrone.
Until then.
Look, no.
You lost to a 2,
you did not wait
and
until
1
the Eagles
team.
game. No, you did not wait until the Eagles game. You did not wait until the Eagles game to
because my eyes told me
my eyes told me that she's fighting a bum.
My eyes told me your team ain't
fighting
shit.
a bum. Was she okay? Fine. Then give me your assessment on how skilled Lily is. Tell me if she's a good fighter. Tell me if you've seen better fighters.
I'm not speaking. I was never speaking on Lily.
Of course,
and I was never speaking. And I was never speaking on a quality opponent.
There's a reason why you didn't even mention her when you were talking about Murphy.
I was never speaking on a quality opponent.
There was a reason why you never mentioned her when you was talking about Murphy. Thank you.
Doug, yo.
Let's go. Next one.
Listen.
I'm cooking you right now, Mark.
Yo, stop lowering your hat when you Care Bear stare at me, dog.
Dog, like, I am cooking you, man. I'm cooking you. Let's go.
Like, no. Yeah.
Let's go.
Anyway.
Cooking. Let's go.
If that's what you call it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If that's what you call it, dog.
Cooking you, man. You better step your shit up.
I don't know what Tyrone heard the exact same thing I heard. So I don't know what you're talking about. He heard the exact same thing I heard. And he went on to say it. So next time, how about you learn how to express yourself?
No, I did express myself correctly.
All right. Anyway,
but there's just a lot of assumptions going on.
Moving on.
Go ahead.
You've had your time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, let's get into this main event, man. So Khabib versus Gaethje.
So y'all, well, never mind, go ahead. Yeah.
But yeah, in this fight, Khabib obviously won and decided to retire after the fight. I mentioned to you, Tyrone, that Khabib in this fight, like, it seemed like his fighting style was straight out of Street Fighter. Because it just looked like he was the Russian Bear, Zangief. Like, this dude just ran like straight at Gaethje, and Gaethje's throwing him. He just still coming and just grabs a hold of you and does whatever he wants from there. And like he did that for both rounds. And I was like, if you ever play Street Fighter, that's exactly what Zangief does. Throw your kicks if you want to. I'm still coming. Like, I'm gonna grab you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So, like,
yeah. I have some horrible memories about that. Yeah.
So, like, that's why I felt that I just felt that very cool and interesting. But I guess the most interesting thing about this fight was, like, Khabib's legend continues and it grows because according to Daniel Cormier,
Come on, Tyrone, don't do that. I do. As soon as you said it, I looked at his face, man. Come on, dog.
Man, because it's like we get here, like I gotta hear about Danny coming here for like 5 days before we get
commentating, bro. He's commentating.
He is the commentator,
bro. Like, stop. I don't want to hear Michael Jordan talking about LeBron, bro. Like why
he's doing his job. He's commentating.
Doing his job.
Want him to do?
He did an interview. But
he's doing extra stuff.
He did an interview with Khabib, apparently, or he talked to Khabib and
his best friend. Cole. Mark, if anybody come to me and say, hey, yo, what you think about the eye test? I'm gonna talk. You're my friend. I'm talking it up. Like, I can't. He's not biased.
I mean, non-biased. Listen,
look, man.
Biased and unbiased apart, and I do, but I will get to my personal feelings about what he said about this conversation. But he said that Khabib did not. Khabib switched from the armbar to the triangle simply because he did not want to hurt this man. He said that he remembered he's been taking notes that in the interviews, Gaethje kept saying he would not tap, he would not tap, he would not tap, and so when he was going to go into the armbar, he remembered that this guy was saying that he wouldn't tap. So he said to himself, the only way I can win this fight from an armbar is if I break his arm. And so he didn't want to hurt this man in front of his parents. So then he transitioned to the triangle, because if I put you to sleep, if you decide not to tap and I put you to sleep, no harm, no foul. You'll just wake up later and everything will be okay. So like the legend of Khabib, of the merciful Khabib, grows, Is it
Because of
possible?
DC. Because of DC.
Yeah, but is it possible that is it possible that
Not
the
because of
story is
Khabib.
true?
Not because Khabib said that, but not because Khabib said that's what he did, but because of DC.
What? Why are you? Why?
But maybe Khabib did say it. I mean, is it
But
possible that
only to
these are
DC. But only to DC.
like now, mind you,
You just said that's
like
his boy.
nobody
Like,
has a
you don't have
direct
no problem.
nobody has a direct quote from Khabib on video
Exactly.
saying these things.
Exactly.
What I'm saying
That's my point.
But Daniel Cormier is a part of media, so that's essentially a quote.
He's not part of media. He does commentary.
So you telling me
He's
if you
not
had
a part
chance,
of media now?
are you
Like,
telling me?
Jesus
Are you
Christ.
telling? Hold on. First off, are you telling me that if Mark had a job, a media job, and he was interviewing you, you wouldn't give him the exclusive scoop? What if Khabib gave him the exclusive?
I would talk to him. I would talk to him as we talk because we friends. Now, if Mark went out and said, "Yo, Tyrone didn't put this dude. He didn't break his arm because he didn't want to hurt him from his parents," I'm gonna be like, "Bro, that's what's up." I'm gonna text him and be like, "That was a good touch."
But you no, nah, man, nah. I'm not gonna let you skate with that. I'm not gonna let you.
The reason I say this is because Mark has talked me up before. He's talked me up before where it's been like, I didn't do that.
So you're telling me you telling me there's a 0% chance that Khabib just happened to tell him that in confidence, friend to friend, and that Daniel Cormier just decided to put it out there because he wanted to be like, man, it really sucks that he's saying this stuff to me in private and nobody's really getting to know how much of a gentle guy this is. You know what? He probably wouldn't want me to say it because he's a humble guy, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell the world now. Like that's a 0% possibility.
In the first round, at the end, Khabib put him in an armbar. If you know you're not gonna finish the armbar, why would you put him in a second armbar?
Because he knew he could transition to the triangle. Look, man, I don't know, man. Look, all I'm saying.
Waste of time. You wait. It's a lot of risk. It's a lot of risk.
Are you telling me there's a 0% chance that Khabib said those words?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't.
Oh, come on. Hey, Mark, man.
No, listen. It's a possible. Look, because here's the thing. Here's my I can't say what he actually did, but here's my personal feelings on the matter.
And why did he say it? Why did DC have to say it? Nobody respects DC. You lost like 4 times, bro. Like nobody respects you. Like you lie about everything. Everything you do, you lie about. You said you weren't gonna let John kill you, and you let him kill you.
Like
what you talking about,
bruh? Hey, Mark, is this me or is Tyrone oozing hate today, man? What is going on? What is going on right now, bro? Like,
yo, I give mad. Hey, but I know y'all calling me a hater. I'm sorry, but look, I give Khabib credit because if Khabib fought the way he fought against Justin Gaethje his entire championship reign, I would have mad respect for him because he didn't just die for the legs. He finished it off in submission, but he actually threw hands, and that's all I wanted to see from Khabib. I wanted to see him throw hands. I didn't want to see him just go towards his good part. You know, I want to see him like take risks, like go out there, learn more. And he did against Justin. And to shut Justin down, a guy who keeps coming, is impressive. So I give him his props for winning. And I don't have any excuses for Justin.
But
you know, I don't have any nothing. But he fought the way I've always wanted to see Khabib fight. He won on the hands. He won on the ground. He won everywhere.
But did you see Justin fight the way that you always wanted to see Justin fight? Because I saw Justin put on the wheels.
You know what, Mark?
He put on.
I did. I saw him put on the wheels too. And I had no explanation for that. Was it an adrenaline dump? Was it? I don't know what it was.
Maybe it has something to do with the type of fighter that Khabib is. Maybe it has something to do with the defenses that Khabib was putting up there. There's a chance that he fought differently because it was Khabib. I don't know.
It could be that he was in another country too. There was another country. The altitude is different.
Oh. You know what? You know what, man? Well, Mark, I don't even think we need to address what just happened here. We set it up. You gave me the alley-oop. I slam dunked it. Tyrone happened to be the victim, and he just said it was a foul. Okay, so I went to the AUE, and it's mad humid in the AUE. It's mad humid, mad hot. Like you can't breathe. You ain't got no cardio in the UAE.
Yeah, bro. Okay.
Look, man. You know what? You know what,
water,
Mark?
you getting water in your lungs, man. They should have fought someplace else in Vegas. I think he would have did better. It's dry out here.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
I think what happened is he got put in his place. That's what it looked like to me, Mark. I don't know about you.
Yeah. But listen.
Yeah, he put him in his place, but I refuse to believe that he was the merciful for Khabib. Like,
No.
you know what I mean? Like, this is, you know, like I refuse to believe that we in a championship fight. Your legacy's on the line. I'm gonna be merciful. Like, you're not Jesus. Like, no matter what you say, like, you're not Jesus. Like, I believe you did what you had to do and you won. And then, and DC, being DC, because he can't get his legacy, he's gonna make your legacy because he's like,
hey, Mark, I think it's a perfect time to transition into the next part of this Khabib conversation. I'm sure this was a topic we already had planned on.
Yeah, but before we get there, I do need to express this because I do like. Although I do find it possible that this is true. I find it possible that this is something Khabib said. Yeah. But even if Khabib said it, in my opinion, it's a lie. Like even if Khabib said that to Daniel, Khabib was lying as he said it because what I saw was you transition into an armbar, did not have the armbar because Gaethje was protecting the armbar, and so you being a proper wrestler and a proper submission artist transitioned to the next move that you had, which was the triangle. Like, that's what I saw. I did not see you have the armbar and decide, nah, I'm not going to do that. I saw Gaethje protect the armbar and you transition.
And to speak up, doing jiu-jitsu, I have been to do jiu-jitsu a lot. We are taught, if you don't get the armbar, triangle's next.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, so these are things that I know.
I'm a plotter.
So now, Mark, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to commend you on your explanation because it sounds 20 times better than if DC said it, it's bullshit. It sounds a lot better than, oh man, because DC said, okay, so like,
DC has been wrong about everything. Think about it. I'm gonna beat Jon Jones. Wrong. Wrong. He didn't beat him. I'm gonna beat Stipe. Wrong. He didn't beat Stipe. Like everything he say is wrong, bro. Like, so why are you gonna believe it?
Bro, like, yo, you know what? This shit is entertaining. I like how Tyrone trying to piggyback on. Yeah, because after the armbar, it's a triangle. It's like, that's not what you said, man. You said DC ain't shit. That's what you said.
But
he's not, because I saw Khabib put him in 2 armbars, and then Coles is like, you didn't have it, which he didn't, and we are taught.
Okay, right. Okay, but that's a perfect explanation, though. That's a great take.
Even though I'm not. Like I'm not nearly as versed or a practitioner like Tyrone is. Like, I do study the subject, and like you learn things, and I've learned that what moves you should be transitioning into if you don't have this move, what move you should be trying to transition into, in watching these sports. So and also, honestly, if you played the old UFCs, if you played UFC 1 and 2, you had to know this stuff. Like, if you wanted any sort of ground game. I'm not even kidding. Like, Tyrone, am I joking? Like, actually knowing the ground game changed everything about whether or not you could play the game or not.
Because I'm not lying. Like 2 and 3, like, yeah, like, I was good. I deleted 4 because they got rid of the whole ground game aspect. It's something totally different, and I deleted it just because everything I know about jiu-jitsu was not in there.
Yeah,
so,
particularly
you're right in that aspect.
Particularly like if you had ground game in UFC 2, you were wiping the floor with everybody online because they had no idea what to do against you. So it is what it is.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway,
and DC is always wrong.
Man,
DC said it, bet against it.
But anyway, like I said, the legend of Khabib grows, and in that legend of Khabib growing, um, this man is now the pound for pound number one fighter in the world, simply because he asked for no other reason
Bruh.
than no for no other reason is he the pound for pound fighter in the world, but the fact that he said, I deserve that. You should give me that. And they said, sure, you can have it. Now, I'm going to, I, I said that, but I'm going to set that to the side for 1 second because before that, before he was named the pound for pound artist, he was crowned the GOAT in the, not necessarily the media, but in, I guess, in the
MMA circles?
in the MMA circles, in the internet, in the social media world,
Yeah.
he was crowned GOAT by by anyone that saw the fight and was a prisoner of the moment. Um, they now crowned Khabib as GOAT.
Let me just interrupt real quick. Let's be very specific. They crowned him the GOAT less than an hour after the match was over. I'm talking about this shit was immediate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Jon Jones, being the dirtbag human being that he is, couldn't.
Hey man, why you lean back so far, Tyrone? Why you lean back so far, man?
Yo, like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Are we talking about MMA accomplishments, or are we talking about being a moral human being?
With the amount of venom that you spewed today, sir, I'm gonna have to let you know you need to just relax for a minute and let him get this off.
Yeah.
You definitely don't need to be telling anybody to chill out.
Yeah, like I said,
Just saying, like, I'm just coming off real biased right now.
I'm just. I know, no, because, like I said, anybody
facts. I want to hear facts.
Anybody that listens to me will hear me go back and forth. I'm just gonna, but like, one thing, anybody that listens, if you're a first time listener or whatever, or if you don't know me personally, you should know that I speak in a lot of hyperbole. Like, I speak in a lot of hyperbole. Like, I say what I mean, but it's going to be amplified by 5 to 10. So
You're
anyway,
gonna be extra with it, yeah.
Exactly. But so Jon Jones, being a dirtbag human being that he is, decided I cannot let this moment go by. Khabib cannot have his moment in the sun, even though his father just passed, even though he decided to retire, and everybody wants to give him his flowers on the way out. Fuck your flowers. These should be my flowers. I'm the fucking GOAT.
I agree with that.
No.
You know what? It's not even about that. It's not even about that.
Yeah, because it's not. Shawn is absolutely right. It's not about the fact that, because I do believe, as of right now, until somebody knocks John off, he is the GOAT. I don't even want to say GOAT.
Let's just say pound for pound. Let's talk about the pound for pound.
He's the pound for pound until somebody knocks him off.
Undisputed pound for pound.
Yes. Now, but here's the problem. Timing, bro. It's all in the timing. Nobody wants to hear that from you right now. And I said to Shawn earlier, I compare this to the fact that when everybody is giving Kobe when everybody was giving Kobe his flowers after his unfortunate passing, now's not the time to bring up a rape case that was dismissed. Shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah, because somebody, just for people that don't know, somebody, a sports news personality actually did that.
Exactly.
Like literally within 24 hours of it happening.
Exactly. Like, now's not the time to do that to this person. That no. If you now's not the time to talk about the selfish years that Kobe had when where he gave up in the playoffs against the Phoenix Suns. That we're not now's not the time to have these conversations. Let everybody praise him, let everybody mourn what they have lost. And in this particular case, John shut the fuck up. Let everybody praise the man that is leaving 29-0 and he's never ran away from a fight, never turned down a fight, and he's shown that he did it the right way.
He's
He's not
handled himself with class in every way that he possibly could, if you ask me. So
right. He handled himself with class. He's never hid under a ring. He's never he never
yo,
popped 30 for a test.
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting patiently, dog. I'm just waiting. I'm
Yo,
just waiting. I'm gonna let y'all finish.
hey,
yo,
hey, we still
yo,
going.
yo, he's never hit a pregnant lady and ran away. Like he's only done things the way that he's supposed to.
Never
So
crashed his
allow,
car into a ravine high on
yeah,
coke. He
yeah,
never
you know
done
what I'm
that.
saying? He never went on a coke binge and then came into a fight. No, that's never happened in his particular case. So allow people to give him his flowers and walk away gracefully without you chiming in. It should be me. It should be me. It should be me. Like, no, it's okay, John. We'll get to you later. Thank you. So, anyway, Tyrone, I see you're hurting there. Please.
I'm not hurting. I just thought it was hilarious. Like, cause this dude he flew over a ring and like drop kicked the dude for no reason, and he wasn't even fighting. But he's never, disgraced the MMA sport, like you
I'm
said.
gonna address that when you're done, but we'll continue.
Jon Jones, 15-4. That's what we're gonna talk about. 15 titles, world titles. This guy has never been defeated. He only has one loss because he beat somebody unmercifully.
Mm-hmm.
That's his only loss because he beat a deaf guy. He like with no mercy. Um, and you got Khabib who comes in, and he hasn't really fought the top tier people. The way he got the championship, he fought a third replacement from Tony Ferguson, and then he was supposed to fight Max Holloway, and that fell off. And then he fought Raging Al Aquinta, who was a part-time UFC fighter. He was a real estate agent. That was his full-time job. That's how he got the belt. Now, and I don't really like bringing up deaths and stuff like that, but Jon Jones. Well, no, Khabib's father died of COVID-19. He was stuck in Russia, and he come in and he's crying, and my dad died. Can I get number one? Sure. Jon Jones' mother died in June. By July, he went out and dominated DC. Never asked for the pound for pound spot. Didn't say a word. Didn't say anything. He just dropped out and cried. Nobody even made a big deal about it. Nobody said that Jon Jones' mother, who was his moral compass, Jon Jones' mother, Jon Jones' mother, Jon Jones, nothing. Nothing was said. He didn't say nothing. He didn't use it as an excuse or a crutch to get where he got. No, Khabib doesn't deserve the number one spot. He doesn't. And I understand where Jon Jones is coming from, because when you work as hard as you have and you put your blood, sweat, and tears on the line and you do what you got to do, and then this guy comes in and asks for it and he gets it based off of his untimely, it's really uncertain. It's really unfortunate what happened with his dad, but he gets it. I can understand where he's coming from a little bit. I worked for this. I fought for this. I've been in this for 10 years. I fought everybody in their prime. Like, you got the belt fighting a ranked number 10 fighter. Like, I fought Shogun Hua, who was champion. It wasn't a vacant title. He was champion. And Shogun Hua, if you go back in time, was a beast. And he dominated him. He made him tap the strikes. He didn't knock him out, tap two strikes. Think about how dominant you got to be, how much that hurts for a fighter to tap the strikes. So I see where Jon Jones is coming from, because he's lost a parent. Khabib has lost a parent. Um, and looking at the competition, 4-15, this man has won the championship 3 times and never lost it.
Right.
Never lost it. And yeah, he did some coke. Yeah, he ran into some girl who was pregnant. You don't know what he did after that. I never seen that lady come out on the news and say Jon Jones is a jerk. He never came to me and gave me this and gave me that. He does do unfavorable things. He was 22, 23 as a champion. But I remember Khabib flying over the octagon, kicking some dude in the face, a cornerman in the face. I remember Khabib's corner running into the octagon. Like, so when we talk about the UFC, I don't look at people's outside lives. Like, what you do on the outside, I don't know you on the outside. I don't know you for what you do on the outside. I know what you do on the inside of the ring. I know Jon Jones because he's a UFC fighter. I don't know what kind of father he is. I don't know what kind of driver he is. I don't know if he likes drugs. I don't know if Khabib likes
You do
drugs. I
know if
don't
he
know what
likes
kind of driver
drugs.
he is.
Stop that. You do know.
I don't. He just never
You
got
do know.
caught.
You do know. You know that he likes drugs. You know that.
Mark,
don't do
hold
that.
on now.
All right.
Mark, maybe
You
he's
do.
an
Yeah,
addict.
all right.
He just
All right.
can't help
I
himself.
got it. I got it. I
You're
do
not
know
gonna
if he
do
likes
that.
drugs.
You know what I'm saying?
And I only know
we got
you
this
know if he likes
whole
drugs because
opioid
he said he likes
situation
drugs.
going on, man. You're not gonna sit here. Look, man. Jon Jones could
See, this is the problem. Niggas, like, excuse me, but people try to sneak in half truths.
Wait. Ain't no half truths. Jon Jones got caught. That's how we know. And he came out and said, I admit this is what I like. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's outside the ring. I'll correct myself on that. It's outside the ring. But inside the ring is what I pay attention to. And I remember a whole bunch of heathens running in, Dagestani heathens running in, beating up Conor McGregor after he already lost. Like, what is that?
Okay, so
they got to the point that the UFC was like, yo, I'm not going to give him a championship belt because he act like a thug. You know, regardless of what somebody say, and you gonna sit here and say, I ain't never seen him do nothing. Come on, bro. This dude has a gang. He's a gang member.
No.
Now, mind you, no, because mind you, that altercation between Conor and Khabib goes. You are correct, but it goes much further than that. It goes to a wheel truck being thrown through a bus window. So like,
let's jump his corner. Let's jump his corner, man. Khabib took that out on Conor. Conor threw the wheel truck. Well, you beat Conor, so why are you jump kicking his cornerman?
Listen. Everybody knows that the Russian gangs and the Irish gangs got real beef in real life. Like they got real life beef.
Look, I'm gonna say this: the pound for pound ranking in the UFC is bullshit. It's bullshit. They got Izzy ranked number 3, and they got Tony Ferguson ranked number 13. Tony Ferguson has more wins than Izzy. You get what I'm saying? And they never really give Tony a title shot. He wanted to fight McGregor. No. He wanted to fight Khabib. That was cursed. But you got him ranked number 13, and he got that many. He had a 13-fight win streak before he lost to Justin Gaethje. You got him ranked number 13, and Justin Gaethje ain't even in the goddamn pound-for-pound ranking. But he was fighting for the championship. Nah, y'all got to do something else. Y'all got to convince me of something else.
Now listen, Tyrone, because I did start this with saying that all Khabib did was ask for it. So I'll let it be known that
I know you tiptoe on the line so you can like choose. You'd be like, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say that, but if you go down,
I don't choose. I'm just laying the facts on both sides, and like it just weighs out how it weighs out. Because John, I do feel as though John, I feel as though what John had to say is correct. I just feel as though shut the fuck up for right now. Like
you want him to
your
pay,
timing
respect,
is wrong.
pretty much. You want him to pay respect.
He doesn't even have to pay respect.
He doesn't have to pay respect.
You want him to let everybody else pay respect. At least, at the very least. You don't even have to say shit. He could have been silent and nobody would have thought anything of it.
Yeah, he didn't have to say, yeah, good job, Khabib, well deserved. He didn't have to say shit. In fact, I'd rather you just say nothing at all. But let everybody else pay respect and give this man his flowers on his way out.
Okay, so let me
I see what you're saying, but I mean, as looking at the circumstances, Khabib lost a parent, John lost a parent. Maybe that was his motivation. Like, yo, I lost a parent too, and they didn't give me no.
Nah, man, that's not what it was, though.
But that's not what happened in this
situation. Let me put it this way.
Good.
So let me put it this way. And the biggest issue I have with this, I might have been able to give him some sort of a pass if the media asked him a question about it. If the media had asked him, hey, man, how do you feel about him being called a pound for pound, number 1 pound for pound fighter in the UFC? None of that happened. He just took to Twitter on his own accord and started speaking, okay? like that's my problem. So it's not like he was coaxed into it. Nobody questioned him. He literally saw it happening and was like, "Oh, this is bullshit." And then he went on Twitter. That's what happened. Like he clearly was like, "I don't care what's going on. I'm not gonna let them say this right now. I don't care if his dad died. I don't care if he just won. I don't care if he's retiring." He said he literally knew all this is happening. He's like, "I don't care about none of that. What I have to say is more important than what he's got going on," and that's where I think he's wrong. So but with that said, I just want to address the Khabib thing real quick, because what I said specifically was he handled himself with class in every situation as best as he could possible that I thought possible. And what I'm saying is, we're going to go back to the not just things being thrown through the bus. We're not even going to talk about that situation. Let's talk about what you said. Things that have been said when racial slurs are being tossed around, and when you talk about why did he jump out the cage, he literally was celebrating his win, and the coach was calling him a Muslim rat, a Muslim piece of. He was basically just attacking him and his religion from the crowd. Okay, he didn't just jump out there just to go fuck people up just because something they said 2 weeks ago. They was talking reckless to him right there after he won. Notice that after the fight there was hands shaking between him and Conor. Notice Conor gave him his props, all that shit. After everything that Conor said, because trust me, that's the thing, man. Conor was saying racist stuff to freaking Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to just brush over this like it was just random stuff. In a few interviews, Khabib was very vocal about saying, "Look, man, he had a problem with the way that things were handled, because it was just like Conor's being Conor. We're just going to let it." So there wasn't anything that was going to happen from the UFC on their standpoint. They weren't going to hold these guys to a professional standard. They're berating him and basically, kind of being borderline racist from the outside in the crowd. And he was just like, "Yo, I'm a man of principle." And remember, they were talking reckless about his dad, calling his dad a terrorist and all, calling his dad ISIS and all kinds of shit. Nah, man, you can't. Like, I don't know about you, Tyrone. You know what? No, I do know about you. I understand you are a man that has self-control, and I understand that there's certain things that you're just like, nah, it's not worth it. I'm just going to assume that you're not going to let too many of those comments about your pops or your family members or your mom just roll. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you're not just going to let that slide, brother. Yeah, I think you're going to start laying some smacks on people that, the commission is not really happy with the amount of force that you put behind it. Is what I'm saying.
Like this, all right. It comes down to the main antagonist, Conor McGregor, talking about my mom, my dad, and I whoop him in the ring. I'm gonna try to put as much damage on him as I can. Anybody outside of that, you're just a follower. And then but on top of that, Khabib had ran up on Artem Lobov, smacked him upside the head because of what he said. You know what I mean? So that kind of triggered the whole throwing the whole dolly, which I don't agree with, at the bus. Yeah. But if you're running up on people, if you're running up on a rival team member's member and you slapping them upside the head and you videotaping it and you putting it online, and then you get mad when they come back and retaliate, who really started this?
What I'm going to say is this, man. Khabib, the way that he sees family might be slightly different than the way that everybody else sees family. People know this.
Yeah, it's a different culture. Yeah,
people know this about him. So when you know how passionately how he feels about this, and then you say that's number one on my list of things to poke at, then whatever you got coming to you, Kane. That's the way I see it, dog. Somebody can't say, look, man. It's like when Eminem goes out there and he says, look, man, yo, you can say whatever you want about me, but don't speak about my daughter. And then Ja Rule proceeds to say something about his daughter. Now, if Eminem went and pistol whipped him, I wouldn't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? He asked for that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Them cats out there, they asked for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I would have been able to contain myself in that situation. So that's why I said he handled himself with class in as many situations as possible that I thought were possible for him to handle class in. That maybe not would have been not one of his classier moments, but I understand.
Absolutely.
I would just point out the fact that y'all say he ain't never did anything.
Yeah, but look, man. But I'm just saying. Just think about this. That's what you got, and then you go to. On the other hand, you go to sit here and say, "Well, we don't know if Jon Jones likes drugs."
Yo, that was hey, that's a slip of the tongue. I apologize, everybody. We already know he likes drugs. Like that was a slip of the tongue. I'm not even going to defend that. I'm not going to defend that at all. We know he does. All right.
I'm just gonna say your fanhood was showing a little bit. That's all. Your fanhood was like. But nah, man.
I was in the moment. I had momentum. That's all.
The momentum build up. You really, say it's hard to stop yourself when you got the momentum going.
Momentum. But I could slide that one through. Y'all caught it good. Hey, y'all was paying attention.
Listen, vicious lies and dangerous rumors not going to let it happen here.
Nah. Yeah.
But listen, yeah, I want to close this out by saying, because I really didn't want to bring this up. I didn't want to talk about Jon at all. But if anybody that follows, they would know that Jon went on like a 3-4 day tirade about this, like, and wouldn't stop. Like it was like, come on, dog, relax. Like it was like a new tweet about this.
Wait. Israel Adesanya went on a weak tirade about beef.
But we're not talking about him and Izzy right now. Nope, not going to let you do that.
You can't hold on, dude. You can't sit here. You can't sit here. No.
What did Khabib do to deserve this? Izzy deserves all the smoke he gets.
Yes, I'm not comparing what Jon talks to Izzy, because what Jon says to Izzy is fine because Izzy brings it on himself. Khabib did nothing to deserve a 3-day tirade. Like, nothing at all.
Absolutely
it was weird.
Nothing.
That's where y'all going? Y'all going with that one?
What do you mean? That's where we're going. That's where the conversation been at. What you mean? That's where we've been at.
That's where y'all going to go? He didn't do nothing. He's innocent. Don't attack him, Jon.
When did Khabib say, fuck you, Jon? I'm pound for pound. He never said nothing about Jon.
You could be mad at the media, dog. I could ask for $1 million. They don't have to give it to me, dog. Be mad at the UFC. Be mad
if they give it to you, I'm going to be angry. I am.
Be angry at them.
Listen, but be angry at
don't be angry at him.
Like, don't start shitting on my record and start shitting on who I am as a person. Like,
but he's not shitting on who he was. He just told the facts. He got 4 title defenses to 15. It's not shitting on your record. If you feel like that shit's inferior, that's on you.
But
like you said, a 4-day tirade, dog. Come on, we're not gonna act like it wasn't hate inspired, bro. We're not gonna act like it wasn't a level of disrespect coming out of that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like this. If you speak in facts, if you speak in factual information, and it makes you feel a certain way, it's not really derogatory.
That's BS. Because if I walk up to somebody who just lost their mother 30 minutes ago, I'll be like, "Damn, your mom dead." It doesn't matter that it's factual. It doesn't matter that it's factual. It's still disrespectful, man. Like, you could be factual and still be wrong.
Exactly.
That's a problem, man.
Exactly.
He's not going to gloss over.
He took it to level 10, bro. He took it up here.
But I'm saying, his father died. He promised his mom he would retire. His mom didn't want him to fight. He did all that stuff.
Like, people want to let him out. Like, let him go out on top. Like, Jon, you're still fighting. Who cares if he's pound for pound today? You're going to fight a fight, win the fight, and be pound for pound tomorrow. Like, let him be pound for pound for the 1 month or 2 months that he's pound for pound. Like, that's going to change. And you're going to be pound for pound again.
Nope.
Dog, he got to eat.
I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that, dog. I don't believe in that because, your circumstances are unfortunate. We're going to let you come through as on top.
Listen. I understand what you're saying, Tyrone. And honestly, in my heart of hearts, I feel the same way. I don't feel as though there should be more victories. And I don't feel like if you didn't really earn it, then you shouldn't have it because like history isn't going to remember how you got it. They're just going to remember that you had it. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
and
So
so to that point, I like at the end of the day, I will like I started this. I understand. I understand you, John. And and part of me feels like a kindred spirit to John because like there's a lot of times where you do something or you do this that and the third and you do but somebody else gets praised for doing what you've been doing and you're like yo like blah 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 like it's me I did this I said this before I told you this before I was right and like honestly I'm there every day, like in some situations, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like,
mhm.
yo, I was right. You see, but like you blew that over, and like I'm like, oh, okay, but I'm not getting the credit I suppose. But like, duh, in this situation, like you gotta
What
understand, like
situation? What situation?
the situation of that like you know what the situation is like you know what's going on with Khabib you know like the way that the framework of the media this that and the third like there's no win for you here John like there like it don't matter if
what
it's the
I'm
truth
what
there's no way you can win here
what I'm
you gotta
okay. This
shut
is
the fuck up
and this is what I'll say, Tyrone. You can't have the history that you have.
Here we go. Here we go. That has nothing to do with pound for pound. It has nothing to do with the
It does.
UFC. It has nothing to
It
do with
does.
fighting.
Now,
So
and
what
that's
I'm
another
saying,
thing. You know what? That's another thing I let you slide on. See, now that you keep running your mouth, this is another thing I let you slide on, Mark. You heard him when he said, "Well, we're talking about the drug thing. That's outside of the ring. It has nothing to do with." Yes, it does have something to do with it. If this man is high
no,
on coke inside of the ring,
yes
that's
okay,
a
let's
disadvantage.
talk about it.
That's a disadvantage.
yo I've seen coke addicts
Let's not
charge
say
at
it's an out
police
of the ring
officers
problem.
that are currently being tased. You seen videos of dudes high on coke being tased up, ripping the taser out,
You
and
mistaken
still
that.
charging
You mis-
forward? Like,
you
come on,
mistaken that.
dog.
No, no,
Doug,
you mistaken that for PCP. That's what you
Doug, look,
mistaken that for.
look.
That's PCP.
All
He didn't
I'm
pop for
saying is
PCP.
we're not gonna sit here and
We
say
don't
we're not,
know if he
not
popped
gonna let you
PCP.
rock with it was an outside of the ring problem
No,
when
Mark
he
was talking. We don't know if he did
high inside
PCP.
the ring.
Yes, we do. We do know he didn't do PCP. It's not a
No, not the
his
PCP
lab
shit.
results.
I'm just saying. You said it was outside of the ring problem. I don't know why we're talking about drugs. We
Yeah,
talk about the drugs because this man is doing it and then being high inside of the ring.
But anyway,
which is a disadvantage.
all
It's
right.
a
Doesn't
disadvantage.
disadvantage or no disadvantage. We talk about
But
the drugs. The man likes his drugs. He likes them a lot.
all
Okay.
right.
Check it. All right, Sean. We fighting. We on a title
No,
fight,
no, no,
right?
no, no, no,
I
no,
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 no no
no.
no no
no,
no no
no,
no
Please,
no
please,
no
please,
no no no
please, please,
no.
please.
You know
Let's
where
leave
I'm
this.
going. Don't
Let's
try to
leave
roadblock
this.
me. Don't try to roadblock
Let's
me. Don't try to
leave
roadblock
this.
me. Don't try to roadblock me. I'm fighting Sean
Hey, that's
for a
my
title
fault,
fight.
Mark.
I knock him out. I beat his ass, and then I say, "Hey, yo, I was high on coke the whole time." He gonna feel good or bad?
I'm gonna want a rematch because you cheated. You know,
How you gonna feel? Are you gonna feel like, yo, I let some dude who was high on drugs whoop my ass? So I feel good about that or bad about that?
I don't
Todd,
know how
let me
many
ask you
coked
though:
up people
is
you've been
Coca
around,
upper or downer?
but they got
Is
all
that
kind of extra energy, brother.
Ty, is Coca upper or downer?
they ain't got extra strength. They don't teach you how to fight.
Ty, just answer the question.
Dog.
Is it an upper or a downer?
I don't know. I don't do drugs.
Hey, this dude, last episode, he broke down the entire like chemical process of how they do drug testing and shit. And then all of a sudden now this dude has no drug knowledge. All of a sudden, look, man,
Like yo,
I hate to do this to you. I hate to do this to you, man.
yo, he pulled out the
But didn't you
periodic
say,
table
aren't
the
you from
last time
St.
we
Louis?
talked.
Are you from St. Louis?
Yes.
You're not familiar with anybody that's ever done coke or any type of drugs. You don't know anything about drugs or how they work anymore.
I didn't see him out there suplexing people. I mean, I've seen them, but they wasn't
You know what?
suplexing
You know what? We done, Mark. Let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
We got to be finished here. We got to be, man.
All right, please.
Now all of a sudden he don't know nothing about drugs, man.
All right, man. Look, man.
No,
At the
gave us
end of
a
the
full
day,
breakdown of the drug testing process and shit. Now he don't know nothing. Okay, we good.
at the end of the day, shout out to Khabib, man. That was a very long tangent about that. I apologize, guys.
No, we going.
But shout out to Khabib. Let's get all right. But here's the thing, man. I'm gonna let you lead the next topic, Shawn, because there was something that you mentioned that you wanted to talk about. It was
Um,
LeBron related, I believe.
KD and just KD and Kyrie in general, dog. They've been going on this. I understand that KD has his new podcast. I understand. I want to believe that they're going to talk. He's talking about topics that can be sensationalized in the media to get the attention. I want to believe that's the motive, but I don't know. It's KD. So you have KD's comments of him basically saying he said he feels like um, the people that bring up LeBron in the GOAT discussion, he said that if LeBron is the GOAT and I beat him 2 times back to back in the finals, then what does that make me? And then he went on to say that I think he went on to say that LeBron doesn't. No, he went on to say that those 2 rings, he felt like his rings were the were of the highest value in this generation. He feels like his 2 rings mean more than any other rings won in this generation. That's what he said. So,
Mm.
and then I'm just gonna jump right into the Kyrie stuff too and get that out there because Kyrie had a comment saying that LeBron ain't cut from the same cloth. What would have happened to LeBron's legacy since people want to talk about him being the GOAT? What would happen if he would have missed his shot in the Warriors series where they came back 3-1, and what if Ray Allen would have missed his shot in the series against the Miami series against the Spurs? And then he said they want to call him the GOAT, but when it comes down to it, when it comes time to slash the opponent's throat, LeBron ain't there for that. He needs guys like me, Kyrie. He said he needs guys like me to get the job done, and he feels like there should be no more talk of LeBron James being the GOAT. But he kind of said it in a way that he feels like he's better than LeBron James. I don't know, but either way, those are the 2 comments. Mark, I'll let you. I mean, there's the information, man. What do you think, man?
Well, based on the information, I I don't like what he said because this guy is speaking in half truths. They're both speaking in half truths. Because what you said about like KD saying that he beat LeBron twice, so what does that make you? Well, that makes you a person that went from the team that you were on and that was capable of getting to the finals and but failed to going to a different team and which was built with basically 5 all-stars on the team itself to go beat LeBron. You went and formed Voltron and then went and fought the monster LeBron. Like you can't say like I'm David and I slayed Goliath. No, because David went and got a Mack truck and ran over Goliath. Like that doesn't count, bro. Like I'm sorry. Like so I mean it counts because you did your part and not only that but you did the greater part to get that championship. So I'm not going to take that from you, but when you say I beat him like as if you did it by yourself, now I got to shut that down and stop. Like because and like you know what I'm saying this is all the dangerous rumors and like the meme culture and all that stuff. People start buying into their own hype, and then and so they start speaking in ways that don't make any sense. Like for instance, what Kyrie said, where he's like, without me and without Ray Allen, where is LeBron James? Motherfucker, without LeBron, you're not even in the playoffs. Like you never made the playoffs without LeBron James. So how are you going to say without me, where will LeBron be? Where were you without LeBron James? Shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about? And then you want to speak to Ray Allen. They made it to the finals without Ray Allen. They
Yeah.
like they made it to the finals without Ray Allen. Like they lost, but they made it to the finals, and so that like help me understand what are you talking about?
Hmm.
Like so, like you speaking in half truths because yes he needed you to win
Yeah.
the finals, but Jordan needed Pippen. Jordan needed teammates. Nobody wins anything by them damn selves. Like not in team sports. You might be the major contributor, but nobody wins by themselves. So like that's absolutely ridiculous to say. And just so so that's where I land with it because I don't feel as though LeBron should get all of the praise in any one particular situation that he's ever been in, but
Hmm.
nor do I think you should be stripping away his credit from any particular situation that he's been in.
Yeah.
Like so it's just I find that type of stuff to be ridiculous when they speak on it. Like KD, where would you be without Steph and Clay? You would still be the same team making it to a Western Conference Finals and possibly losing, or making it to the finals and losing because at times that you fell short, you didn't like nobody you didn't have enough people to pick you up. This time you had an all-star team to in particular moments when you fall short to pick you up. Like, come on now, let's let's stop the ridiculousness.
Yeah. So for me, I wanted to talk about this because I honestly didn't even want to get into the breakdown of the situation because really the way I see it is, Katie, you know what you did. You know exactly what you did. Everybody knows what you did. I don't expect you to tell the truth about it because anytime the media has ever asked you about anything, the tough questions, you've always lied. Hey man, do they plan on they ask you about your coach. Man, there's no players here want him gone. You could have just ignored the question, say I don't have to answer that. No, nobody, just no whispers of that. You guys are you media, you're making things up. I don't like you guys. I don't like the way you guys are making things up about my coach and he's not going anywhere. And then exactly what the media was being told happened. Man, there's no problems with me and Russ, and this is just what I'm saying. There's no hints of him leaving, and then he leaves, and then it just seems like at every turn he just lies. So like it is what it is. Like I don't expect anything different from him. So I'm not gonna like I said, I don't want to dig into it. But Katie knows what he did. He know how we got those rings. It is what it is. Kyrie, just to speak on that part, hey, look, there's a difference. Is two people can need each other, and there could be a huge gap between who needs who more. And that's what I saw the Kyrie LeBron situation as. Is Kyrie needed LeBron, LeBron needed Kyrie, but Kyrie definitely needed LeBron more than LeBron needed Kyrie. That's just what it is. But with that said, I wanted to talk about this because I think it's just a part of a bigger issue to where the like you said, social media coupled with the media, coupled with um coupled with their own delusions of grandeur, this is starting to happen now. Now you got guys like Kyrie that feel like he already went and said it's the first time that he felt like he basically didn't have to carry the weight of the last shot or carry the weight of being the shooter on the team and all these other things. He's saying a lot of things. He's saying a lot of things. This is the first time he feels like he could pass the ball to somebody else. Basically, he said that earlier. So you the stage is being set for people to like people are creating these narratives to push against specific people to the point to where they're giving false praise to other people in order to tear somebody else down. And what it does is then apparently it gives these people this false level of confidence and it makes them feel like they have the right or the stage to say, you know what, I am better than everybody. I am better than these guys. Look, man, Kyrie and KD are saying a lot right now. And every time it comes out, they're just like, "Oh no, no, we're not taking shots at anybody. No, 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 we're not taking. Kyrie's not taking a shot at his former teammate LeBron. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? They keep saying that, but then it really is what it is. Like, so what I see here is two guys that have not been able to carry their teams. You know, when I say their teams, I'm talking about KD and OKC and Kyrie on every other team he's been with that didn't exist with LeBron. They haven't been able to carry their teams to the promised land. It's kind of been a knock on both of these guys. They're going into this Brooklyn situation overconfident, I believe, and they're writing their mouth. They're writing a lot of the checks that their ass is gonna have to cash when the season comes. Because I'm telling you right now, the NBA teams are probably they're probably looking at them and they looking at them like, yo, there's a huge target on their back now. So I mean, while they're talking their stuff and promoting the podcast and while they're taking their shots at LeBron, I mean, if that's the way they honestly feel, that's fine. That's fine. That's cool. But in the way that they're doing it, I would not be surprised if teams are looking forward to it and mark it on the calendar saying we trying to light these guys, we trying to light these dudes up. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they're better than everybody. We gonna knock them down a peg. So I just hope that these two guys that haven't been able to figure it out previously in their other teams, outside of joining up with winners, I hope that they are able to put something together because it's going to look real crazy at the end of the season if these are the things that they're saying and haven't even played one game together yet. If these are the things that they're saying and then they come out and fall flat or miss the playoffs, it's going to be hell for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I feel I'm right there with you. Was there? Oh, and so keeping it in basketball, there's um, there's going to be a. They're talking about December 22nd being the start of the new year for basketball. Um, I'm just going to ask you guys, given the fact that basically basketball just ended in October, the beginning of October, essentially they're saying, here's 2 months off, get back to work.
It's
Like,
crazy.
like, like, how do you feel about that? Like, Tyrone, I can ask you this. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, given that, like, basically, because essentially what this was going going on a deployment. I mean, obviously not the life and death part of it, but being away from the family, having to work every day, blah 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 blah. Like this was essentially going on a deployment, being allowed to go home, and being called away 2 months later. Um,
Well, it's crazy. It's crazy. You talk about not the life and death part of it. Yeah, I mean, but a lot of people
and
they don't
obviously a
deal with
lot
life.
more money involved, but
Yeah, it's a lot more money involved, but I mean, a lot of people don't know what that feels like, the life and death part. But everybody knows what it feels like to be away from family. I
right,
mean, it kind of feels like life and death because if you really into your family, that is your life. That's what you do. That's a lot of reasons why you do what you do. So to be away from them for as long as they were, and I'm not sure about how long is a normal off season usually.
Well,
um,
usually the finals is ends towards the end of June,
Hmm.
and
and then they
final,
don't go back. What preseason starts in September?
yeah,
In September,
preseason,
right?
yeah,
Preseason starts in September.
preseason, like so
Yeah,
they usually start back up in October.
yeah. So there's 3 to 4 months basically time period
For
where
Yeah,
yes,
definitely. I mean, being, but normally in a normal season without the bubble, you get to go home. You get home games. So for them, I'm pretty sure this is devastating. Like I don't think it's fair for them to be only getting 2 months off because in a normal season, not only are you traveling, but you get to come home and play home games. You get to see your kids. But in this situation with the COVID, you're gone for the season pretty much, which is devastating to a lot of people. Who it might even affect their game. I know it would affect my game. I can't speak on everybody
Yeah,
else, but I
And
know
then
my
yeah,
game.
he,
it's going to affect a lot of people's games. Some people will be able to play, but everybody's situation is different, man. There's people that sat out from the bubble this time just because their kids had um, special conditions, as far as medical conditions, and you know what I'm saying. So for somebody like that, I mean, whether or not the kid is in good shape or not, there's that extra attention that they're gonna want to tend to them. Just certain situations like that where any time spent away from them is kind of miserable. So then you're like, okay, even if like before it was like it was a COVID scare, now it's just like, no, I just don't want to be away from my special needs child for X amount of months. You know what I mean? So this, I'm certain there's going to be some people that it will be bad for them.
right.
It will be something that they don't want to deal with.
And not only that, but the fact is, like, they don't want to be away. Like, Danny Green spoke to it about. He's like, don't expect to see like a lot of the higher stars, like LeBron and all of them, when this thing restarts. And because honestly, like, is 2 months enough time to come back and heal from and allow your body to heal? Um,
Hmm.
like, is that enough? Like just for health reasons, is that enough? And honestly, why are you in such a rush to come back in December? Like, for a team that I've always felt as though there should be zero sports games on Christmas Day. Like, the fact that everyone has always, like, football and basketball, like, always one of those Christmas Day games. I was like, no, man, like, why don't these players deserve to be with their families the same way
Hmm.
that you do? Like, why are you so dead set to have the Cowboys play on Christmas Day? Like, you already
Yeah.
take Thanksgiving away from the Cowboys and the Washington football team or the Detroit Lions. Like, so why not just allow people to have Christmas?
It's
And
not
like,
just the players; it's everybody who's associated with
right,
making that game possible.
exactly. Just let people have that particular holiday. And like, honestly, what's the difference of coming back December 22nd
Okay.
or coming back January 3rd?
Well, I did a little research, Mark, so I can answer that question now. Apparently, they're trying to make sure because apparently the Olympics 2021 scheduled to begin July 23rd. So that is the rush, Mark. The rush is they want to finish the season before the scheduled Olympics. You know,
Competition. They don't have competition with the ratings.
they don't want the competition with the ratings, and I'm sure they want to be able to be represented, meaning they want, NBA, Team USA basketball to be present
Right.
for that. And nobody's going to show up for that if they're playing in the playoffs. Because, this
Right.
we're talking about their superstars being on the Olympic team. Nobody's going to opt in for that if they're trying to make a deep playoff run and then the Olympics start in the middle of that. So yes, they're trying to rush to get back so that they can, you know, beat out the start of the Olympics. So I like you guys. I don't feel like it's fair. I don't feel like it's a good idea. Um, the deal is if they're just going right back to the bubble, then I don't know how players will be okay with this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about them, but I would be arriving to the bubble late. That's just me. Hey, I'll see you guys in January or
You gonna
February.
stop off and get some wings?
Might get some lemon pepper wings.
You might get some wings.
You know what I'm saying? I heard they're pretty good over there. And I'm
uh,
not gonna lie, every time I see the picture of them wings, though, I'm like, dog, I don't know, man. Maybe he had a point. Those do look really good. They look really good.
yeah,
But
yeah,
but yeah, that's yeah. NBA is wilding on this one, but we'll see. I mean, a lot of people say they won't. People are gonna feel a certain way, but when it comes down to it, people want to win. People like the paychecks. I mean, they're guaranteed anyway. But you get what I'm saying? Like, but people like to win. People like to win, and it's a bottom line. And the ones that are hungry are going to show up. Somebody like Russell Westbrook, I expect them to be there day one.
Yeah. Um. Absolutely. Now, getting to the uh last thing in basketball, I don't I don't even necessarily. Hmm, dang it. Well, now that I said it, I gotta do it because I don't really want to bring this up, so I probably shouldn't even have mentioned it. But Pat Riley has some had some ridiculous comments about now. Like the LeBron hate is absolutely crazy. Like I'm not a big fan of LeBron, but this like the hatred is absolutely ridiculous. Like because uh, Pat Riley had this to say about LeBron, and in those comments, he says that he feels as though this season, that this championship is absolutely an asterisk. It does not count um, because of their injuries in Game One of the series um, to Dragic and Bam, and that if things were different, then it may have been a different result. Well, friend, injuries happen every year. So if those injuries happen outside of the bubble, this there still would be an asterisk because of injuries. Like no one applies asterisks because of injuries. That's never happened before. Like because injuries are a part of the game. That's something that happens. Like only in uh in in fighting sports do they apply a bit of an asterisk in the event that a fighter enters the ring already injured
Hmm.
because but in any other sport no like that like it's a long season people get injured. I'm sorry, like that's just how things go. So like I just find we do know the history between Pat Riley and LeBron James and how Pat never cared for LeBron's homeboys, and so and how that has gone, and LeBron promptly left the Miami Heat, and he's had a Pat has had a problem with LeBron ever since then, and so with that
Yeah.
being said, man, Pat, you tripping. You gotta let that hate go, man. It's bad for your health. You getting up there in age. Don't let it lead you to a heart attack, bro. You gotta less stressful days, my man. Less stressful days,
Oh,
and stop trying to steal people's shine, man. Let them have it.
yeah. Yeah. So I'm just gonna point something out real quick. You didn't even know. I don't even know if you noticed. I switched my hat already, Mark. But just for you,
I noticed. I noticed.
I'm gonna switch to another hat. You know what I'm saying? Because we being, you know what I'm saying? Here we go,
I
baby.
didn't want to
Let's
say
do it.
anything while you was talking because I didn't
You
want
know what
to
I'm saying?
interrupt your points, but I
Yeah.
noticed you
We
switched
good,
different
man.
spots
It's
there.
cool. You know, Mark had his head down and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. We can put on another hat. I got plenty more where that came from. So you know what I'm saying? Niners gang. You know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Gold blooded. Gold blooded. Hashtag. Anyway, so real quick, man. You know, Pat Riley is a guy that I have a lot of respect for. Um, as far as his pedigree and everything that he's done within the sport of basketball. Um, I respect him for the job that he's done and the jobs that he's done over and over and over again. With that said, as a human being, though, I have lost so much respect for him over the years. Um, Now, Mark, it's a funny story. You know, he's calling for an asterisk because of injury here, but I'm pretty sure he was the head coach of the Lakers when they beat the Pistons when Isaiah Thomas got injured in the in Game 6. I didn't hear him calling for an asterisk then. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When he got a chip from it. Okay, the same way that I believe that if his Miami Heat team would have won and the Lakers would have suffered some sort of an injury, he would not have been calling for an asterisk. Okay, so that's my point. You know, don't try to come here with asterisk talk after y'all done lost, and then you're like, well, there's injury. This all. Look, man, if you don't like the fact that LeBron got a chip and you don't like the way that he left and all that stuff, then just say so, man. Just say that. Don't come out here and just kind of throw shade on this and throw shade on that, man. Just call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respected you a lot more when you came out after LeBron left and went back to Cleveland and just said, "Look, man, if you like you taking the pussy way out, man. If you're man enough to come back to Miami, then just a spot for you here. If you man enough, then come back here and fight with us to try to get another chip." I respected you when you said that. I don't respect this, you know. And then I'm never going to forget what happened between him and D Wade. Now, this is the reason why I feel like his hate is misguided. You're mad at LeBron for seeing the writing on the wall, the writings on the wall, and leaving when he did. Which the writings were on the wall. Chris Bosh didn't come back. He had the blood clot. D Wade his back has not been the same since that final year in Miami, which did decline his play. Matter of fact, D Wade was missing even more time, more games from that season on. And then what do you do with D Wade? You basically tell him, "Look, man, I'm gonna pay you half. I'm only willing to pay you half the money that you want. Yeah, I know I promised that I was gonna give you the money on the back end, but I lied. You're only getting this much. Take it or leave it." And then D Wade went to Chicago. So we're not gonna sit here. You're not gonna sit here and let Pat Riley ask for, be mad about some type of loyalty that he expected from LeBron way back in 2016 that he didn't get, when he didn't show any loyalty to D Wade County. We're talking, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about D Wade, okay, the greatest player for that franchise. And then you just said, "Nah, dog, we sending you out the pasture. Take these little crumbs or walk." No sympathy, no nothing. So for you to be bitter about LeBron leaving, and then for it to turn into, this needs to be an asterisk season, dog, get over it. It's been 4 years, 5 years, however long it's been. You just need to get over it, man, and stop hating on this dude. How about you just say, "You know what, we're gonna get him next time. We're gonna meet him in the championship next time. If he gets there, then fine. If he don't, look, we're trying to win a chip, and then I can prove my point that way." But Pat Riley is supposed to be better than this, and that's why I'm disappointed by this whole ordeal.
Yep. Right there with you, man. Right there with you. So thank you, Tyra, for changing your outfit so quickly. Did didn't know
Dog,
that you had a
dog,
haberdashery in the drawer right next to
dog.
you. That's
Look, man.
crazy to me.
You're talking right now. I want to change my hat right now just because you're talking.
Listen,
You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let you lead into the next topic, and I'm gonna wait till I speak before I do it. Just
listen,
out of respect.
listen. David Copperfield pulling out different hats
Hey,
every
look, man.
5 seconds.
Look, dog. Don't hate me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, I got a hat for every win we got on the season. How many hats could you pull out, Mark?
I
You know
don't
what?
want
It shouldn't
to
take you
do
that
that
long to count to
ridiculous
2.
ass shit.
Let's just continue.
I don't want
Let's
to
just
do
continue,
that
dog.
ridiculous ass shit. Like, how about
Let's go.
that? Yeah, man. So I didn't know that onesie also came with a pocket for a haberdashery. That's insane.
Look, man.
That's
I'm just
amazing to
look,
me.
look, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Not only does it have a Care Bear stare right at the belly button, but it also has see, there it is,
Dog,
right
here
there.
we go, right here, man. We rock this. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I'll get you one in about 3 or 4 weeks whenever y'all get y'all next win. Okay, I'll get you one.
I tell you what, save your money and try to erase the win that we have over you. Okay,
Hey,
How
look,
about
man,
that?
don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that.
No, I am worried about it because I didn't want to beat you, but your team was so fucking sorry that we had no choice but to. But hey, it is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? You take whatever moral victories you can, dog. We have a winning.
It's not a moral victory. It was a legitimate victory. Like, it's a W. Like, what are you talking about?
Whatever's gonna make you feel better about your team having a shitty record, you go ahead, man.
No, it was. I want my. We've discussed this. I want a shitty record. You couldn't do the job and win. Like, come on, how hard is it?
We 4-3.
Just
I'm not trying to
fucking
hear none of that shit. We gotta win the record, y'all don't. I'm not trying to hear none of it. Man, let's get into this NFL shit. Let's get into it, man.
Anyway, so Yes, let's get into this NFL shit and let's recap this week. But before we recap the week, Shawn, won't you read off the tallies for the people? Let them know how
Okay.
we predicted some wins and losses from this past week. So let's just go ahead and run those off for the people, please.
Okay. I'm just gonna go down the list. Giants, Eagles. You picked the Giants, or yeah, you picked the Giants for whatever reason against your home team. I don't know
Because
why
I
you would do
wanted to
something like that.
lose. Like
You
that's what
know,
I want.
look, man. I picked the Eagles. Eagles won. Okay.
But mind you, I said that the Eagles probably would win. I'm picking the Giants because that's the result I wanted.
That's great. And I did specify on the episode, I was like, you do understand what you're saying, right? What you mean by this. And you said you fully understood. We got through that, yes. I mean, you basically said you wanted your team to tank without saying it. But that's cool.
Uh, I
All
didn't
right.
say Luke. I didn't
See,
say. All
what,
right,
you
whatever.
just say the T
Keep
word?
it. Keep it
Okay,
going.
all
Keep
right.
it going. Keep it going.
All right, cool. So Falcons Lions, for whatever reason, we thought that the Falcons couldn't fuck this one up. Lions beat them. Another blown victory in a different fashion, Mark, because they had to do it in style this time. They had to blow a victory by accidentally scoring. Like all these other victories have been because they can't score, but then this one is because they accidentally scored when they weren't supposed to. I mean, Mark, this shit is gold for me. I don't know how you feel about that, but
Hey
any
man,
comments on that?
listen.
You
That
thought it was
was
going to be different with a different coach.
listen. It was. The offense is clicking. The offense is doing something that they haven't been doing, which is scoring, and being able to put together games. The defense still is trash, and the defense, like, because at the end of the day, everybody says, like, Todd, Todd Gurley scored the losing touchdown. No, that's impossible. That's not what happened. What happened was that your defense was so trash that they couldn't stop a team from scoring in less than a minute. Like it was less than a minute on the clock, and somehow this team still scored and scored a touchdown with less than a minute of time. That shows how terrible your defense actually is. All you had to do was protect the fucking sticks. Like, like you could have played prevent and just kept them out the end zone, but you couldn't even pull that off right. Like, so Todd Gurley, don't feel bad about what happened out there because that's not your fault, friend. That is
Feel
the
bad because everything that happened afterward could have been prevented if you were smart enough to just fall down before you got into the end zone. I'm not saying it's all your fault, but definitely take some of that blame.
no, don't no.
He got a hold,
Would you
man.
apply this to any other team? Would you apply that to any? Would you
I
apply
would
that
play. I
particular?
would apply that to any team because they could
No,
have ran the clock out and took the field goal and got the
I mean,
dub.
yes, you could have.
Is that not?
Now,
Is that not a valid
no,
point?
no, it is a valid point, except for the fact that it's not like Todd Gurley tried to score. His momentum carried him into the end zone from so he
Yeah,
tried
he
to
got tripped up and he fell. Look,
yeah
man.
he got
Listen.
tripped up and his momentum carried him into the end zone.
If
Like
you
that's
already dive into the ground, nobody could trip you up. Look, Mark, there's a bunch of ways that he could have handled this. I'm
listen,
not letting him off the hook for that.
listen. I feel you. I
This
honestly do, and I understand where people are coming
all
from.
I'm saying is he has to carry some of the blame. I'm not even
But
saying it's all his fault.
But don't like my point is just like people saying, "Oh, you scored the losing touchdown." It's less about what Todd Gurley did, and a lot more about the fact that you couldn't stop a team from marching down the entire field in less
But
than a minute.
Mark,
That's insane.
everybody knew this is what Atlanta's defense does. If you know you got a trash defense, you got to get down on the ground and run the clock out. That's why
It's
they're putting that on them. Like you can't. Are you going to be mad at Atlanta's defense for being Atlanta's defense?
yes, you're trash. You should not
That-
be that fucking trash.
you
Like what
gotta,
the fuck?
hey, dog. It's like if you're a coach, man. If you're a coach and you know your defense is trash, run the fucking ball. Don't be mad at that. You don't be mad you put the defense on the field and they failed. Like, nah, man, you gotta hold some of that responsibility. Sorry, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
No,
I'm done with that. You
but
good?
no, you like. I mean, like I get it, but
I
like
get what you're saying though. I get it. What I'm
yes,
saying is he has to hold something of the blame.
nah, I get it, and with that, I'm gonna just let it rock. But like my bigger takeaway was less about Ty Gurley and more about the fact that your defense is that fucking abysmal. That's insane. So, but next, go ahead, continue.
Okay, so Browns Bengals game. You picked the Browns. I took the Bengals. So that puts us both at one game apiece
Hmm.
after these first three games. That was a showdown for the ages as far as the closing moments. Five go-ahead touchdowns were thrown in the last quarter of the game. Um, I mean, I don't know what else you want from a shootout.
Oh, I do want to say this about that particular game. Like somebody please, because now it's going around in the internets and the media or whatever that somehow Odell Beckham was the is is responsible for how shitty Baker Mayfield is. Like how? How are you blaming his receiver for how crappy he is? Duh. It's not like yo, honestly, was was he locked in on Odell on every pass? Because I it didn't seem that way to me. Maybe, but I also wasn't paying crazy attention to Cleveland Brown games. But like you know what I'm saying, it didn't seem that like um like basically Odell was dictating how the offense was being ran.
Nah, man. Like
So
like like Baker Mayfield just hasn't been able to find him, so to speak. You know, if you're talking quarterback talk, he hasn't been able to find Odell. Now, if you want me to believe that Odell's just never open, then you're crazy. Um, so yeah, it's just been him having a problem of being able to find him being able to go through his progressions and find him in that way. Like I, I 1,000% cannot blame anything dealing with Odell's production or lack thereof on Odell. Like we've seen in some games this year where it's like, hey, they used Odell. Look what happened. You guys won. He ran it up on them. They couldn't stop him. This is who Odell was before he got to Cleveland. So the fact that that has changed to some degree, I cannot blame that on him. It's got to be the quarterback. It's got to be the system. It's got to be the coach. Get anybody, anything but Odell Beckham. You know.
right.
All right. So
Okay,
um,
so continue.
all right, so then we have Steelers versus Titans. We both were concerned about whether or not the Steelers could stop the Titans from running, but we were also concerned about the Titans, whether or not the Titans would commit to the run fully. And what happened? Um, the Titans ran the ball 20 times. The Steelers won. So we both picked the Steelers. It played out kind of the way that we thought it would, which is exactly the way that we hoped it wouldn't. But
Right.
that's exactly what happened here. And considering the fact that Big Ben threw 2 picks in the second half of this game could have went differently if there was a little bit more commitment to the run, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, I 1,000% agree. We both discussed it. Now, mind you, someone will point out that Derrick Henry had 20 rushes or whatever he actually had from this game. But either way, 20 rushes isn't enough. Like I was looking more for him to have a 30 rush game. And in this particular game where you were getting dominated, your pass game was being dominated by Pittsburgh Steelers and the only reason why you made any sort of comeback was because of basically uh, Ben Roethlisberger playing you back into the game. That that says a lot to me. And you are incorrect. I thought you were incorrect. Ben Roethlisberger threw 3 interceptions,
Oh,
not two.
3. Even better, Mark. Even
Yes,
better.
not
Yeah.
not
Like
two, three.
I
He
think I
threw
cut it off when he got to 2.
yeah,
But yeah, like
but no,
like
he threw He threw 3 interceptions. So basically, and I saw a comment from T.J. Watt where he said that we as a defense have to be better. We allow them to be whatever. Hey, TJ, I understand. Like, this is why I never want. I said this to you, Shawn, but I'm going to say this to
Yeah.
the people out there. This is why I never want to hear from players on teams ever. Like, because you get ridiculous shit that KD says, where KD and Kyrie want to suck each other's dick, and and live on TV and for everybody to see, and then or you have people lying to protect their teammates, and you never hear about the truth until the person is leaving the team, or like it gets or everything comes to a head. Now it's a real. Now you finally get the truth, but while they're in the middle of it, you don't hear the truth. Um,
Hey,
and
it's
TJ
dirty. Go ahead.
and TJ Watt's comments is exactly the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Like, because TJ Watt is talking about, like, our defense could have been better, this, that, and the third, or whatever. Well, hey, TJ, like, you know the truth, but you don't want to throw him under the bus. The truth is, hey, we were doing excellent in the first half until our quarterback start giving up short field and putting us in a fucked up spot in the second half. We were great.
Yeah.
But essentially that is what your quarterback did. Your quarterback kept putting y'all in rough spots where it was quick out, you guys being put quickly back onto the field because he's out there throwing interceptions. Like, that's a recipe for disaster on any team anytime your quarterback throws 3 interceptions. I.e. Cardinals Seahawks, which we will also talk about. So um
Yeah.
so TJ, don't take that blame. Don't take that bullet for your quarterback. Everybody knows who the real culprit was for why you
See,
almost lost that game.
and then just so a quick point, because one of the many things that I enjoyed about To, you know what? Occasionally somebody has to play the villain, man. And what do they say? Sometimes you got to call the baby ugly. Sometimes you got to call
Right.
a spade, whatever. To always took up that role. Like, if you're gonna ask me why we lost this game, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Hey, coach took his foot off the gas because he didn't want to run up the score on his buddy, and then his buddy decided, hey, we're gonna come back from being down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. That's why we lost. People might get upset when he says things or say he's a bad teammate or say, but guess what? I'm not denying that he isn't the greatest teammate if he's doing that. But what I will say is, even though everybody wants to ostracize somebody like that in that moment, everybody appreciates the fact that they got the truth of the matter and it came from a player.
Or at least the truth according to that player.
Yeah,
Like, he
what I'm
wasn't.
saying is when a player actually does
He
speak
gives you.
candidly and is truthful
Yes.
about it, then people appreciate it, even though they vilify that person.
Well, I'm just keeping it 100 that it's his truth. It may not be the truth, but it's his
Oh
truth.
no, but yeah, but yeah, no, but I understand. But I'm saying is if somebody says there's a fight in the locker room, and somebody says one person says that didn't happen, the other person says yeah, such and such punched somebody in the face. But you
Yeah.
get but you get what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter if there's some version of the truth that is maybe 85% of the truth that's coming out of that locker room that's coming from a player, that player's going to get vilified. But us as the fans, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
The media,
Absolutely.
they appreciate it. It's something that they could talk about. Everybody appreciates it, but nobody wants to do that dirty job.
At all.
But okay, so we're gonna move on. That puts us at 2-2. We have the Panthers versus the Saints. We all thought Noodle Arm. We thought Ramen Noodle Breeze, Top Ramen Breeze. I don't know what other noodle name, spaghetti. I don't know. That shit. I don't know, man. His arm is just done. But we did think the old noodle arm wasn't going to get the job done. But lo and behold, Mark, I know we talked about it. We said the game was in the dome. It was going to be at home for the Saints. I thought that it wouldn't have mattered. Look at what happened. It did matter. Thanks to Alvin Kamara, though, he had a big game. But we were both wrong on that. We both picked Carolina. I don't
Yeah,
have anything else for this game, but
I mean, my only takeaway from this game was that you didn't run the ball enough, and you didn't run the ball enough with your actual running back.
yes,
Because like as a team, you ran it 14 times, but with
Samuel got some. Yeah,
yeah, but with your actual running back, you only ran it seven. Like there's no excuse for Mike Davis only having 7 carries. So that's my only takeaway from this game is that Mike Davis in no world should only have 7 carries. Um, you could continue.
yeah. The clearly the game flow got away from coach, got away from
Yes.
the coach on in this game, and I'm sure when he looked back on the tail of the tape, he probably is gonna stare at that and be like, "Wow, I can't believe we only ran it 7 times with Mike Davis." So hopefully he makes his adjustments to come out next week and fix that. We like running backs on this show. You know what I'm saying? We hope that they get the use. We hope they all get the uses that they should be getting. Um, Next game, Cowboys in the Washington football team, and of course, I mean, we both picked the Cowboys. I mean, I thought for sure the performance they put on the week before had to be the worst of the season, and they said, "Hold that thought. We're gonna show you something new this week." So, like, I don't know if their season is salvageable. We both got this one wrong. They're way worse than we thought they were. Um, and the biggest takeaway I got from this game is not only do they have the worst defense in the NFL, I'm not just saying that from my eyes, because my eyes tell me that, but statistically, it also says that they are the worst. And then I believe they have the worst offensive line situation in the NFL. And if you have a horrible defense and then you have no offensive line, this clearly, Mark, is a sign that this is, to me, I thought the Jets were bad, but this might be the worst team in the NFL right now.
Okay. Yes, you're right. For me, um, I will say this: the Andy Dalton hate. Uh, could
I
he
can't
have
even blame them.
like he could he have been better? Sure, possibly, quite possibly, but I I don't know which comes first here. Is it the chicken or the egg when your offensive line is just that terrible? Like on the sideline when Andy Dalton is berating his offensive line, he's not even necessarily berating them on his own behalf. He's berating them on Zeke's behalf. Like
Mm,
like he's saying like you got to create room for him to run. So that's a different animal right
yeah,
there. Like, cause he's not even saying protect me from getting hit. He's saying, "Yo, help this dude be able to run."
uh,
And Zeke isn't helping him at all because Zeke had 2 terrible drops, and he had 2 terrible. He had 2 terrible drops this week, 2 fumbles last week. Like so, saying like pointing to Andy Dalton isn't fair.
yeah,
Now, because Andy Dalton is who he is, but these these issues go beyond Andy Dalton.
yeah. I'll say this: I expect more from Andy Dalton. How much more, considering the circumstances? Not very much more is what
Right.
I'll say. In Zeke, I expect everything from you because you are the one with the paycheck. You are the reason why Dak is not signed yet. You are who they chose to invest in. You're the reason why they put all this money into the offensive
Well,
line.
mm,
Mark, what I'm
mm,
saying is
because
Zeke got his Zeke got
here's
his let me just make my last point real quick. Zeke got his money and hasn't been playing the same since.
no, you are right. That is correct. But to say that Zeke is the reason why Dak isn't signed, according to Brandon Marshall, and according to Brandon Marshall on his podcast, the issue there is that Zeke didn't want to. He don't want to be franchise tagged after this contract, and that's where the money got stuck at. Was that
Okay.
he doesn't want to be franchise tagged after this contract? That's according to Brandon Marshall. What
Okay.
Brandon Marshall on his podcast when they were talking about the Dak Prescott injury.
Okay, I might
So
have stepped outside because I thought I mean, let me correct myself. Okay, he is not the reason why, but what I'm saying is he did get paid before Dak. And what I will say is this: as far as Dak's situation, Dak is the reason why he ain't got paid yet.
yes,
Dak is pushing the envelope pretty far. But an interesting point, Mark, is I had this discussion with somebody at work today. And it was like, hey man, he's like, oh man, Dallas is definitely going to get the discount for Dak now. And I was like, are they? Because if I'm Dak Prescott's agent, I'm going to look at the fact that they were averaging 35 points per game before Dak went down, and now they're averaging 6 points per game.
right,
That's what I would be talking. If Jerry Jones was talking to me about money, that's what I would be saying. I'd be saying this is exactly why. Like all the other problems, they ain't got nothing to do with me. The defense ain't got nothing to do with Dak. Let's talk about the offense and what it looks like before and after Dak Prescott. Before when we had Dak Prescott, we were losing games by one touchdown. Now we're getting blown out by the Washington football team. So I don't know. I'm just going to be monitoring this situation closely to see which way it goes because I know that Jerry Jones is going to be looking at this and being like, look, we got bigger fish to fry. We got bigger issues. So bringing you back is not going to get us dubs. They both have solid arguments for what they're asking for, which is why I don't see this stalemate ending.
right. The only thing that I can take away from this currently is that Zeke, you're making it look like you're being paid too much. So
Definitely. Definitely. Okay. Next game, Packers, Texans. Don't know if you want to say much about this. Packers are just rolling. We both got that one right. Um, Seahawks, Cardinals. To me, the best game of the week. Um, go figure. Russ throws he throws a pick that literally cost him the game. In the
it's
end, when you look back on it, that pick was huge. This just
look
speaks
back
to
on
me.
it. He threw a pick at the end of the game. Like like he threw, like he set that situation up. Like he here's the issue, man.
No, but well, let me get to it before you get to the point because this is the point I was going to say, Mark. At the end was
Mm,
my takeaway is they need something on defense. They need something on defense bad because I don't know. Like even with the pick, Russ played like Tyler Lockett had 14 catches for 175 yards and like two or three touchdowns. Like I don't know what else you want that man to do on offense to win this game. And this is against Arizona. I understand that Arizona is good, but this is you can't be losing these division games to the third best team in the division right now. You can't lose these games. And my question is, what is going to happen to them if they don't add anything to this defense? What's going to happen to them when they get to the playoffs when teams are playing defense and offense? What is I would love to say that these guys are the best team in the NFC, but I can't because they're missing one or two pieces on defense for them to
right.
get there. Go ahead.
So um what at one point they were up by 10. Um Seahawks were up by 10, correct?
Yeah.
Like throughout the second and third quarter. Um you have to start running the ball more. I know that they ran the ball, but they like even even in overtime, Russell like I still feel as though even though they had an overtime, I still feel as though 50 passes is far too many, especially when you
Yeah.
have an effective run game.
They were having success on the ground.
Yes, they were having success.
Chris
Like
Carson out. I can't remember who the second guy was, but he left.
Carlos Hyde
Carlos
played.
Hyde played. Dallas was playing. Like Dallas was out there making catches. Like they were having success with the running backs. I don't understand why. I do understand what you're saying. 50 is too much. Um,
When you having
yeah,
success on the ground, 50 is too much.
yeah.
So
But
And you as the quarterback just can't make those mistakes because two of those picks were terrible and on you. You threw like so. You, in this particular case, your son beat you. Your son showed you how it was done. Uh,
definitely did.
so um, because I mean they look like essentially
That's
they put
Russell 2.0.
yeah they played the exact same way, got the same curly ass hair, like
Yeah,
they get
I mentioned this in the beginning of the year, Mark, before the season started. We were
yeah
talking about a schedule. I mentioned I don't like playing Arizona because what happened to us last year, and I was like, he's literally the second coming of Russell Wilson, and now we got to play two Russell Wilsons in this division. And
yeah
sure as shit, he's showing us that right now with what he's been doing all season.
yeah man they get I mean clearly like he has studied Russ to a T apparently. He even goes to the same stylist to get his S curl done. So
Stop it, man.
so it is what it is, man.
Okay, but in
Like
celebration of the Seahawks losing and bringing the 49ers one game closer to first place, now we're one game back out of first place. I'm go ahead and put this one on today. All right, let's go. I'm ready. All right, here we go. We got what is so funny, man? Look, I'm styling right now.
You switched your hat again.
You know what I'm saying? I got plenty more. Okay. All right. So we talked about that one. So what was that? That was Cardinals Seahawks. Okay. We have Rams Bears.
don't go out. Don't go. Do not go outside in that shit. Somebody's gonna set trick on you, dog.
It just says 49ers. Look, man.
Yo,
I'm
yo,
wearing
I
I mean,
promise.
I
I
am wearing
promise.
a
If
bit
you
much
say one
red.
C word outside,
Look,
you're gonna die. I promise.
man. It might look like a bit much right now. I'm just gonna stay in the confines of my own home. I understand, we're not exactly all the way on the West Coast, but we close enough to where I shouldn't go nowhere like this. All right,
You
but
only know them as Baklava bookies
stop
from now on. That's it.
it, man. Stop it, man. Something about Brisk Breezy. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so we have Packers. No, I just went through. It's Rams Bears. For whatever reason, I thought the Bears would take advantage of the way that the Rams defense has been playing, and apparently the Bears offensive line is worse than I thought it was. They struggled against the Colts defensive front very badly, and they struggled even more against the Rams defensive front. So what this is telling me is that their offensive line, if you got the guys up front, it doesn't matter what your linebacking crew looks like. It doesn't matter what your secondary looks like. They are going to eat the Bears alive if they have pass rushers. Simple as that. Foles was running for his life. You picked the Rams. I picked the Bears. So that puts you at 4 to my 3 with that prediction. You got anything else to say about the game?
No, just this played out exactly how I expected it to. I expected the unevenness of the Rams to play out how like they show up in games that they're not supposed to. So
Silly me, Mark. Silly me. Um, Pats versus the Niners. The Pats lost this game. I honestly thought that this would be a game to where the Patriots could showcase their their defensive ability, and they would be able to take away what we did best. Not only did they not take away what we did best, they didn't take anything away from us at all. And Cam Newton was out there throwing balls in the dirt so much that they benched him at the end of the game. So, thoughts on this? Because that's my thoughts on it. Thoughts on this?
well, my only thought on this is that it's impossible to win if your quarterback plays the way that Cam Newton did. Um,
Impossible. Yes.
it like legitimately impossible. Um, every you would have had to use your entire cheating playbook to get that win off in that
Look,
particular case. So,
Um,
And nobody's pulling out their whole entire cheating playbook in the regular season.
you got to save some of that for later. You got to save some.
Exactly. You got
Yeah,
to
yeah,
save the cheating playbook for the postseason. Can't use
yeah,
it in the
yeah.
regular season. So
But
that's
okay,
it. That's all I got.
one last thing, and it's a small thing. You don't even have to comment on it. But Jeff Garcia had some comments about Cam Newton and his play, and said a lot of things about the way that he dresses, and says, "Hey, man, if I was Cam, why is he wearing what he's wearing? Why is he always? Why hasn't his clothes changed? If I was playing like this and stinking it up for the past 3 weeks, I would either be dressed down or asking them to sneak me into the arena so that the media doesn't see me." And I wouldn't have much to say about this except for the fact that Jeff Garcia is somebody who I always felt sorry for when it came to the T.O. situation. When you ask me about T.O., if you ask me anything about the Niners situation, I will tell you that he is guilty of everything that they accuse him of being when he was with the Niners. He did all that, and he was horrible. He was a horrible teammate with the Niners. And one of the things that T.O. did was, in reference to the way that Jeff Garcia looked, the way that he dressed, and the things that he did, he he insinuated that he was gay, and it was a big deal. You know what I mean? Especially being in San Francisco and all that stuff. So he got a lot of flack for that. He got buried for that. That's one of the reasons why they were talking about trading To. So for somebody that I felt sorry for, and he got all the support from the media from when it comes to that stuff, and then I'm like, yo, you went through a situation where somebody was critiquing the way that you dress or had a lot of things to say about what you wore and insinuated that you were gay from it. But then now you fast forward, tables to turn, you got an awful lot to say about Cam Newton. He didn't even speak about the game. He just was upset and furious that Cam Newton was dressing in the way that he dresses. And I just find it very hypocritical for Jeff Garcia, of all people, to have something to say about the way that somebody dresses and not have the sympathy there for him. So shame on Jeff Garcia for that.
That's yeah, it's a trash comment. Who cares how you dress, man? So just because I'm losing, I'm not supposed to live my life. That's retarded. Anyway,
Exactly.
moving on.
Yeah. All right. Just almost forgot. Niners got a dub. All right. So, you you wondering what that is? Hold on, let me. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I got the dog ears on this thing. Okay, so next game we have Chiefs. Um, who did they play? I don't even remember. Mark, who did they play?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. The Chiefs won.
The Chiefs blew them out. We picked the Chiefs. We didn't even care who they played when we picked the Chiefs to win.
But I told you I was going to pick the Chiefs all year, no context, and so I'm not going to give context now neither. Like,
um,
just
I'm trying to remember who it was. I just remember it was somebody that shouldn't have been throwing the pick six in a scenario that they threw a pick six in. Doesn't matter. They fucking beat them. All right, let's move on.
they beat Denver, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Drew Lock, that was a horrible pick six. Terrible. Okay.
okay.
Then you have not as bad as Russell Wilson's pick
All right.
six. Good God, he telegraphed that. Okay. Chargers. We had the Chargers versus Jags. We both picked the Chargers. Chargers won. That puts you at 6-5 to me. Um, I don't have anything to say about that game. Do you?
No, Chargers did exactly what they were supposed to do. I said Chargers are better offensively than what the Jags are, and that's exactly how it played
I
out.
just picked them because I said it's going to come down to who's the better quarterback. I like Justin Herbert. He played better. It is what it is. Um, the Bucks versus the Raiders. We thought that it was going to be a shootout. It kind of was a one-sided shootout. um, I'll be honest with you, man. Let me just I'm gonna say this real quick. So Bucks, we both picked the Bucks. I'm gonna get back to this Bucks game, but we only have one other game to go over. So we'll speak about the Bucks game in a second. But we both got the Bucks. We went 7-6. The Bills, I believe they played the Jets. We already knew that was a wash. We both picked the Bills. You ended up getting 8 right. I ended up getting 7. You beat me this week. I'm gonna keep a tally of this, man. Whether or not we get to the predictions on this episode, we're going to make our predictions and we're going to keep track of this for the rest of the season. Also, Mark, I want to do power rankings after week 8. But let's go back to this Bucks game since this is going to be the last game that we speak about. Um, AB is supposed to be coming back. This offense is now rolling on all cylinders. It's firing on all cylinders, like I thought it would with Bruce Arians there. And I don't even know if I can give Bruce Arians full credit because it's been mentioned before. This team is looking like they're playing like the Patriots were when Brady was playing for the Patriots. So clearly Brady is having a lot of say what's going on here, all the way to the point to where I know that Bruce Arians despises AB, but somehow Antonio Brown is coming to the Bucks. So, Mark, I suspect there's going to be eventually some type of dissension when it comes to AB playing and taking the ball away from guys like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And I said if I was Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, or Ronald Jones, and I'm now seeing AB show up, Gronk show up, and then seeing, Leonard Fournette show up, and then all three of these guys are taking away all their touches. I mean, granted, they're winning, so I don't think there's going to be too much complaining. But what do you think this is going to come to a head, Mark?
Well, Chris Godwin had not him and Scott Miller had the same amount of targets, which was 9. Chris Godwin caught all of his. Now,
Mike Evans.
and Mike Evans had 2 targets total. Like is Mike Evans is the short man in this scenario,
Yes.
and um and that and but we kind of knew that it could have went one or two ways. It could have
Mm-hmm.
went Patriots a la the Randy Moss year, or it could have went Patriots any other year of their existence.
Yeah.
And it's going Patriots any other year of their existence. And I think this is a concerted effort on Bruce Arians' part because like although that they were moving along, it just didn't feel like without a preseason, the way that they played those first 2 games,
It wasn't moving quick enough, man.
it just didn't feel comfortable.
Mm-mm.
So this like we always speak of a coach being needing to adjust to the players that he has.
Yes.
And that's exactly what Bruce Arians is doing. He's a good coach. Borderline, and if they win, he'll probably be moved into the area of great coach. But he recognized that Tom Brady is comfortable a certain way, and so thus their offense is now morphing into the way Tom Brady is comfortable.
Playing to his strengths.
So unfortunately, Mike is going to be the short man on this because Mike is dominant on 50-50 balls or deeper balls, and that's
Yeah.
not Tom Brady's.
Neither one of those is what Tom Brady does or prefers. And
Right.
Tom Brady's a guy that likes passing the open guys. And we've mentioned this before that Mike Evans isn't his route tree isn't what it would need to be
Well,
for
not for Tom Brady.
not
Like
for Tom Brady. No, that's
because
what I'm saying.
what Tom Brady would have to become comfortable with is that even when he doesn't look open, he's open.
Yes, and that's not
And
what Tom Brady does.
yes, and I like Mike Evans would be perfect for Ben Roethlisberger 2 years ago, or like you
Yeah.
know what I mean,
Now.
or even perfect for Ben Roethlisberger now, but not
Yeah.
this past game because Ben Roethlisberger was throwing low balls into triple coverage, which was
Yeah, but
retarded. But
yeah.
but in general, he would be perfect for him now. But
Yeah.
but so it just is what it is. Now with AB coming on board, the only person that I see truly being left out of this offense, like that is currently eating with the way that the offense is. but will stop eating is Scott Miller. Scott Miller might as well
Hero,
hang it
he's
up.
gone. Hang it up, buddy.
Like, just hang it
Because
up. Like, I don't see, because first of all, I don't see how you even take the field, because with Mike Evans and
no,
Chris
he's not.
Scott, because with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, that's 1 and 2. You're not, like, somebody is going to the slot, and
More than likely, Chris Godwin.
it's either going to be Chris Godwin or AB, and and basically it's probably easier to have you, like, it's probably easier if you're new into a team
And
to just be on the outside, do the simple routes that you know, which is post in out, like, you know what I mean, like you don't have to worry about running through traffic or crossing routes or shit like that.
and
So
and let's be honest, the biggest thing is this: you have a choice. He would only get in on four wide sets,
right,
and with the tight ends that they have on their team, you're not going to see a lot of four wide sets. That's
right,
just basically what it comes down to.
yeah,
So you're not going to see a lot of four wide or empty back. So
yeah. So that's pretty much just it. How that gonna go? Um, yeah. So let's get out of there. Let's get into these predictions. Let's make it quick. I'm not, like, for time reasons, we're not going to give a whole lot of context into these next coming games coming up. So we're gonna make our predictions, say one or two things, and then we're gonna move out of there. So Shawn, do you have this week's schedule pulled up?
no, but I can pull it up really fast.
All right.
Okay, week 8 NFL.
And Tyrone, have you been following what's been going on the season at all? Do you want to make some of these predictions?
Uh, I haven't been following too hard, but I did watch the Cardinals game. That was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, Teddy
So
Bridgewater is doing well this year, honestly.
the Cardinals Seahawks game
Yeah.
that was pretty.
By Colin Murray.
That
Cardinals.
should have been a Super Bowl
Oh, the
game.
Cardinals game. I don't know why I heard Carolina in my head, but
No,
yeah,
yeah.
Oh
This shit was
no.
dope. This
yeah.
shit was dope. NFC West is crazy. Like I said, we're 4-3. We at the bottom of the division. Okay,
All right,
so here
so
we go. We have the Falcons Panthers Thursday.
I'm
Um, I'm gonna go
I'm
ahead.
going I'm going Carolina, because until Atlanta shows me that they can stop anything defensively, it's Carolina. It's going to be their opponent from now on. So
Okay, we both have Carolina. I'm going with the Panthers. I'm not even going to explain myself. The Falcons are who they are. Packers Vikings.
Packers Vikings. I'm going with the Packers because the Vikings seem like they're packing it in.
Their defense is trash. Vikings defense is trash. I'm going Packers. As simple as that. Bengals Titans.
Bengals Titans, going Titans. Bengals are trash.
I'm going Titans, but I also feel like the
Well, their
Bengals.
offensive line is trash. Rather.
I feel like the Bengals are going to put up a fight just because the way that Joe Burrow and T Higgins have been playing, but I don't think it's more than that. I don't think it's going to be enough.
Right.
Okay. The next one is um, what is the Titans Bengals Jets Chiefs.
Jets Chiefs. I got the Chiefs. Obviously, no context needed.
Okay. Chiefs. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. We're just gonna go say Chiefs. Okay. Wrote that down. Um, Colts Lions.
Colts Lions. Honestly, this is kind of tough because I'm gonna go with the Colts, but I do not feel safe with this pick. Um, I'm basically going with the Colts based off their coach, and not because of their, not for any other reason. Because I feel as though Philip Rivers could very much lose them this game.
I feel like Philip Rivers can lose them this game, but I just feel like their defense has been playing so good that I don't want to bet against them right now. So I'm going Colts. Steelers Ravens.
Steelers Ravens. I'm gonna go with Ravens because they're coming off of a bye, and Ben Roethlisberger shows that he can be he can throw himself out of a game. So, and the Ravens defense is currently the best defense in football. So,
I'm picking the Ravens, and the only reason why I'm taking the Ravens is because they have the best defense. Nothing else needs to be explained. Yeah. Okay. Rams, Dolphins.
Rams Dolphins. I'm going. Uh, you know what? Dark horse. It's Tua time. Tua comes out and wins his first game ever.
Okay. Yeah. So this is what I'll say. Um, the the Dolphins, I was going to take them, but after realizing that Tua is going to be QBing, I just think that is not the game to welcome him into the NFL with Aaron Donald and those guys and having to face a Jalen Ramsey. I feel like it's
I
a perfect storm for him to make rookie mistakes. So I am going. If it was Fitzpatrick playing, I would take the Dolphins right now. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Rams.
I feel the same, but honestly, I don't think you just got to pick a team sometimes that's like
Yeah, yeah. But this is a winnable game by the Dolphins. Just
it
throwing
is.
it out there. So I'm not. Yeah. So Patriots Bills.
Patriots Bills.
They say that Cam Newton hasn't been looking the same since the COVID shit, and it's true, he hasn't. So I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, and I'm taking the
I
Bills.
think the COVID, listen, man, COVID thing might be a reason, but it's also might be an
This looks
excuse
this
because
looks like Cam of any other year. So
yes,
I'm not
exactly,
saying anything. Yeah,
exactly.
you know. So Raiders Browns.
Uh, I'm gonna go Raiders here. Raiders are going to start going on a run, even though Cleveland's defense is really good.
I'm taking the Raiders only because they just seem to, even when they lose, they're putting up points.
Right.
And granted, the Browns have been able to score with people. It seems. Um,
And just to add a smidge more context, I do not feel as though Baker Mayfield can do it twice.
and I feel like he's going to be missing Odell. I just feel like he's going to be missing Odell, and that's going to be a difference maker. Um, we have Chargers Broncos.
Chargers. Broncos have shown that they're that if they can't beat you by only kicking field goals, then they're not going to win. So we're going to go Chargers.
I like Drew Lock, but he does make rookie mistakes. Which is something that I expected. But I mean, at this point, once again, quarterback matchup, Herbert is not making these rookie mistakes, not like that.
Right.
So I feel like I got to go with the Chargers for that as well. Um, Saints Bears,
Um, I'm going to
and just
go.
for context, this is going to be at Chicago.
I'm going to go Saints because Michael Thomas has to play at some point.
It's
Is
looking
he?
like he might be back this week. So,
Yeah.
and for that, after the Bears disappointed me last week, I can't do it again. So I'm gonna go Saints, and yes, especially considering that Michael Thomas might be back. Okay, 49ers Seahawks.
Uh, Seahawks. Seahawks ain't
Seahawks
taking another loss in a division like that. Nope.
and Seahawks, I have to go with, man. If we had more weapons offensive, like Debo Samuel's hurt, we're down to our fourth and fifth string running backs. I mean, we're probably still going to score on them just because the defense is trash. But I just don't see, like, you think he's going to have a field day with Tyler Lockett with our defensive backs. So,
Right.
and what's his name? We have both of our safeties are going to be are questionable for this week already. So I mean, it just is what it is. We have Cowboys Eagles.
Eagles, Cowboys are dumpster fire. Um, in their offensive line, I don't know what's going on there. They're probably the only offensive line that is dealing with more injuries than ours. So
So yep, I'm taking the Eagles. The Cowboys have shown us who they are. I stand by the fact that they're the worst team in the league. Bucks Giants.
Um,
Bucks, no need for me to explain myself.
yeah, it's just the Bucks. Nothing to explain. I will say
That's the
this:
last
that Adam
game.
Schefter, according to Adam Schefter, Thomas is in jeopardy of missing the Saints Week 8 game against the Bears because of hamstring injury.
Yeah,
So even with that, the Saints have found a way to win. I'm still going Saints.
yeah. Okay.
Okay,
No,
so
I picked the Saints. It just is what it is.
right,
Like the Bears have disappointed me to no end. So
right.
all right. So that's it for the games.
Okay, sweet. So games. So we're locked in there. Um, so fantasy. So now we get to the part where I'm loathing because I'm living
Can you
Sean's
pause it
life.
for a second? I gotta get up. Yeah.
All right, now about fantasy. This is a part that I haven't been having the best of luck with, but I also think it's partly the guys coming at me for shitting on Shawn so much about his last season. But it
No,
is what it is. I don't care. Um, life is going to be life, and jokes are just sometimes too good to pass up.
you know what I'm saying?
So,
Spoken like a true loser. Continue.
hey, listen, any day of the week that I'm not wearing a fucking onesie is a win for me.
Hey, dog.
So, hey,
You know what I'm
we'll
saying?
just
Hey,
leave it at
you
that.
live your life how you live your life. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna live mine.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do it in spectacular fashion.
Look like a fucking Run DMC extra right now,
Look,
man.
man, whatever you say, dog. I'm looking like my team is 4-3. Continue.
Anyway, so 4-3 and fourth in the division. Wow.
Hey,
So,
look, man, we all can't be, ahead of a division with 2 wins. I'm sorry.
you're right. We can't. Um, you're exactly right. So, but anyway, um, I went 1-3 this week. Um, but the one that I won was the one where I'm still in it, and I needed that W. Because my team is built to win. They're just like basically I had some of the highest point totals. Like I'm second in points for, but like I'm also number one in points against. So me
Yeah.
winning that game helped a lot. And the one that I lost in, the person scored 180 points against me. Like, so what can you do when they have Tyler Lockett and Devonte Adams, who went off for 44 points and 50 points respectively? So
You do nothing. You sit down. You sit back and watch the fireworks.
right,
That's what you
and see,
do.
and seeing how I was number one in that league, I was in the first place of that league. I can afford that loss.
Yeah.
But the loss that I took in the other league, like it's just that league is basically like, I like it's we're using a terrible app. Like we're using NFL.com and everything. I'm just like, I'll just use this. This league will just be whatever, and I'm gonna try my hardest, but
That's
it
a
is
nice way
what
to
it
look at
is.
it when you get spanked in that league, dog. That's a
Yeah,
nice way to look at
it
it.
is a nice way to look at it when Jared McKinnon had started every game, but the one game that I use
Dog.
him, he doesn't he plays and gets
I think he got
negative
like
10.
one carry
He
in the
got
whole
one
game, bro.
carry for a
That's just
negative
wild.
10. Like, so he got me negative point one. Like, come on, dog. Like, how you give me negative points and you've been killing it every other game? Like,
Yeah.
that's just life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I did express to you before, just off air, that Deontay Johnson could possibly be a hindrance to Chase Claypool, but in this particular case,
Sure shit.
it was also partly because of Titans' game plan, where they made way too much of a concerted effort to take Chase Claypool away, and was leaving Deontay Johnson wide open. and also leaving Juju wide open at times. Like basically, this is a team where you can't scheme to take. The Steelers are a team that you can't scheme to take away anymore. Like they have three good receivers. And if they're all healthy, you have to play them straight up. You can't you can't focus on a receiver in
All of
against that
them will
team.
make you pay.
Exactly. So you so so I started Chase Claypool. He gave almost nothing. Um, so we'll see what happens going forward with that. Um, and oh, another one, Jonnu Smith, who was like number three in for tight ends, disappeared in this game. AJ Brown came to life for the Titans. Like so, it's just a lot of random stuff that happens with that particular team, and like basically, I can like I look at I look at that particular team like the scene from Friday. Either I got peanut butter, no jelly. I got burger, no cheese. I got ketchup, no mustard.
Ham,
Like
no burger.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
yeah, yo,
Like
yeah.
so, like basically, I could have one thing go off, but everybody else is going to be trash, and that is how that pretty much that season of that team is going. So, um, but continue.
Okay, so I'm gonna get into mine. Lions versus men. I won a game that I shouldn't have, Mark. Um, my dumbass left Zach Ertz in a lineup, and the man is on the IR. Obviously he got me 0 points,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had Blankenship as my kicker, the Colts kicker, and I did not want to drop anybody on my team, so I kept them and said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna play without a kicker this week." So I got two zeros. I got one from Zach Ertz, and then the kicker. I went into Sunday night's game. Excuse me, because it was Monday night that the Seahawks played the Cardinals, correct? So I went into the Monday night game being down 30 points. And Russell Wilson and Lockett carried me through. That's who I had left over. And they combined for 88.9 points. So I was down 30, wondering whether or not I was going to get the dub, and I ended up blowing out my opponent by 40 points.
Right.
So it was just one of those games, where I just might not have had a chance and it just blow them out. So I wasn't supposed to win that one at all, but I did. Uh, in the no drama league, I too went up against an opponent that put up 180, and I believe it was 187 to be exact. Um,
Mm.
I don't think there's any real reason for me to explain this, but I lost that one. There was
Right.
absolutely nothing I could have done. I also had Jarek McKinnon on that team, who gave me that negative point one, But like I said, there was nothing I could have done. I was just going to lose that one. But the most important that I got was in the trash league, and I needed it, but I didn't need it. It kind of put me in a messed up waiver position because we do it at reverse standings. But I won that one 134 to 125, and what it did was it knocked it made me basically swap places with one of the guys that was above me. So I went up a spot, he went down. I'm now fourth in the league, but what really carried me through was I got a 24-point DeAndre Hopkins game, and I got 29 from Russell Wilson. So that last Monday night game got me two dubs this week. Um, and I don't know, man. I'm kind of happy about it. It's looking up, Mark. That's another 2-win week for me. I'm in this league. I have the same problem as you. I have the most points for,
Mm-hmm.
but I have the second most points against. So I'm sitting at 4-3 and trying to climb my way up to the top. Right
Right.
now, this week I got to play the number one player. in the number one team in our league in that league. So hopefully I can fight. But I mean, this schedule, I have a rough schedule, man. Hopefully I can survive it.
All
Um,
right.
you want to talk waiver wire stuff?
Yeah, very quickly, very quickly. So waiver wire stuff. You just go ahead and lead it, and if
I got it pulled up. I'm gonna go ahead and do this, man, because really what happened here is a lot of running backs went down. So this is running back week right now for the waiver wire.
Mhm.
But really quick, outside of running back, you have a tight end, Hayden Hurst, who happens to be back now. You have a couple of outstanding receivers that have been shown a pattern of being good right now. Um, Edwards has been out for the Raiders, so Aguilar has been filling in, and he's got 3 weeks of 14 or more points as a receiver, so he's out there. You have the fill-in for Odell Higgins for the Browns, who's out there. So those are just a couple of those are the guys that are out there that are outside of that realm of running back. But running back, this is the time to snatch up your running back if you don't have one. Drake is out, so you have Edmonds for the Cardinals, who it looks like I don't know how long Drake's going to be out, but Edmonds is going to be the guy, and he catches balls. So therefore, he has the potential to put up a lot of points. Carlos Hyde is hurt, so just scratch that if you have him on your board. And I would be looking at Dallas, who was a guy out there catching passes in the Monday night game. But the thing is, they're talking about possibly bringing somebody up from the practice squad. And if this guy has only been regulated to pass catching duties, I'm speaking about Dallas, you don't know whether they're actually going to run the ball with him. But as of right now, he's the only running back on the roster. Tevin Coleman, he's not coming back until probably week 9. But the way it sits right now, it's probably going to be him and Mostert coming back, and those two are going to be the primary ball carriers for
Mostert
the
was
Niners.
placed on IR again.
Say what?
Mostert was placed on IR again.
Oh, my bad. Not Mostert. Try to remember. I don't know, man. Maybe I am thinking about Mostert for week 9. But he just I don't know. I can't remember. But I know Tevin Coleman definitely is going to be back week 9. I mean, Mostert is rostered anyway, so I don't even know why I'm bringing him up. But the point is, Tevin Coleman is going to be in this lineup whenever he comes back, and it doesn't look like week 8, but week 9. You want to grab him a week early. I don't have anybody else. So I mean, at this time, if I were you guys, running back seems to be the position where guys are dropping like flies. Now's the time to pick up the handcuffs. Get Devontae Booker. That's my number one handcuff. Devontae Booker for the Raiders. They are committed to running the ball with one guy. If Jacobs goes down, then Devontae Booker is going to be that guy. Mark, you have anything you want to add to that?
Nope, not at all. I think it's good to just leave this here with that. Um, as always, fellas, it's a pleasure. Tyrone, thank you. Thank you for coming through. Even though your bias has shown greatly tonight, it was
He was
awesome.
showing his ass.
There is no bias. There's no
Okay.
bias.
Okay.
There is no bias at all.
All righty.
Okay.
Cool. But even though your bias has shown greatly tonight, and Shawn kept it bopping, so that's great. But either way, you know what I mean. Like I appreciate you guys. You know what I'm saying. The gangster Teletubby was in the house, and
Look, man,
and I got
I
my
can't
man
wait.
Tyrone, UFC 254.
It's like how he like tried to slide out with a whole bunch of like derogatory comments towards both of us. You know, slide
Yeah,
out.
he did slide them joints in, man.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? He don't look, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody told him plaid doesn't make you look distinguished. But that's fine. That's fine, you know what I'm saying? You took yourself down a notch this week, but that's cool. Everybody's allowed to have an off week.